What's up, everybody? Welcome to. Anyway, you beat me too. I was actually thinking, kind of feel like right with this. Uh, Thank you for joining us on this Monday afternoon. For a lot to talk about, though, with a certain movie a couple of people may have seen or may not have seen over the weekend.
Did a movie come out? Is there a new movie out? I'm unaware of this.
I think so, maybe. I mean, not confirmed yet. I mean, we're waiting for
Wait,
it.
I thought we were doing Spider-Man: Return of the Jedi.
We kind of have to preempt it for a minute because this other little movie came out called Spider-Man: Brand New Day. And it's wild, right? It's a wild idea. But, yeah, we have to talk about it, though. So that's our movie of the week. But, yes, thank you for joining us. If you're joining us on the Facebook live stream, if you're joining us on YouTube, or wherever you found your audio and podcast, we always appreciate the support. Yes, a little Monday afternoon, not our normal time slot, but it's all right. Because we just cannot wait to talk about this movie that we have today. And yes, Spider-Man Brand New Day, we'll be talking about it, all its spoilery goodness, along with the latest episodes of My Adventures with Superman and X-Men 97. So a lot to get into here. But, a great opportunity to open with the Ramones. We don't really open with the Ramones very often, do we?
You don't get to, but now we do. I love it. Ramones, the Ramones are from Forest Hills. They went to Forest Hills High School, right around here by me.
Yes, a lot of Queens this week, I'm going to say. There's a lot
right.
of it. I'm here. Jason's here. The Ramones are here. And Peter Parker's here.
Peter Parker's here.
So there's a lot of that. But Jason, what's up, man? What's going on? How you been?
How's it going? Happy summer. Summer's halfway through. It's good stuff all along. Excited to get into what we're talking about today. What have I went down a weird rabbit hole, which is it's going to force me down an even weirder rabbit hole in the share here. So as I may have mentioned on the podcast before, I'm a Twin Peaks fan. I like David Lynch. I like weird shit, and it took me forever, but I finally, when my family went away, I watched the Twin Peaks reboot, The Return.
Okay.
The third season, and I watched it, and I went, I don't get it. I don't like it. This sucks. But I have that reaction to every single David Lynch property I ever see for the first time because I'm watching it wrong. It's my fault. So I got through it. I got to the end. I had my moment. And now I'm like, well, now clearly I have to rewatch it. But this isn't a movie. This is an 18-hour. This guy shot an 18-hour fucking movie and put it into like segments for Showtime. But now I'm like, in order to understand this movie, because if I'm doing an 18-hour rewatch, I will like it. I have to. I cannot invest 18 hours and walk away hating it again. So I am doing a David Lynch rewatch. I am watching the films of David Lynch over for the most part because I've seen them all.
Yeah.
With the exception of like his most like banal one, the one that's not surreal. But I'm going to do a rewatch, and then I'm going to end with the Twin Peaks Return. That means I'm going to watch all 2 seasons of the original Twin Peaks.
All right, and when you dive into these things, I mean, there's no messing around. There's no skipping. There's no nothing.
No.
Greatest hits or anything like that.
No. I'm actually starting with. I'm going to start with some of the stuff that's on the Criterion Collection of his first film, Eraserhead, which is like his short films, because he did like small art house short films, like when he was in art school.
Did I ever tell you Criterion is actually a floor above us in my office?
No, you didn't. Really?
Yeah, they are. I've walked through their offices a couple of times actually for work-related stuff. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I always look around and see if there's something interesting going on. There's some interesting companies in the building that I work in. Disney, I know, is on one floor as well. So
that's wild. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. But the Criterion thing, I thought it was like such a cool niche thing, especially for like a film fan and stuff like that. Like you're well aware of what it is.
Sure.
You're like, man, they have some really cool like throwback posters all over the place and like that, like framed and stuff. It's pretty sick.
And I'll tell you, I own some Criterion movies. Their covers are always really nice. Like it's never just like the Blu-ray or DVD cover, like a picture of the star. Like they really go all out. So I actually really like that company.
Yeah, me too. All right. So let's jump into it then, because I kind of have some feeling some people want us to get to the movie. So let's talk to. But we got a couple of things to hit on though, because this is what this is what it is.
Hey, this is the show. If you tuned in, you know the show.
You know the show, so you must know. So spoiler warning across the bottom. I'm going to leave that there until we're done, because we're spoiling everything this afternoon. So, My Adventures with Superman, Season 3, Episode 8.
We get the Eradicator.
The Eradicator, Jason.
The Eradicator.
Yeah. I kind of imagined you doing the thing, the pointing and everything like that, the whole thing.
Oh, I was so happy. And look, it's not even the Eradicator I expected, because they're doing different forms, right? They're not doing the old stuff, and I'm fine with that. But I just that we got it. Overall, before we get into it, this is a great episode. I thought one of my favorites. I thought this was a really good episode, and I'm going to tell you something. I'm glad that, and of course, Superman's going to get his powers back. I mean, come on, this isn't going to be the adventures of fucking boring old Clark Kent feeling bad he can't help his friends for the rest of the show.
My Adventures with the guy that used to be Superman.
Right, exactly. But I do like that they're letting him not having powers breathe a bit. Like he can do nothing to help people in this episode, and he wants to, and he tries, and Lois has to be like, "You can't." And I think the fact that they're exploring that is top notch.
Yeah, it's been interesting. I mean, he's not like in this episode, he's not really like moping around as much. He's just more. He's more a little bit accepting of it, but yeah, then he starts getting those visions again, and starting seeing some things. So he's getting some ideas by the end of this. But that cliffhanger that episode 7 left us on, when we saw Superboy. So I call him Superboy now.
Oh, Superman.
He's Superman.
Jonathan. Don't call him John either.
No, John Kent. He's Superman, and he's Jonathan Kent. Along with a sister, and they were sent back by General Lane. But not the General Lane that we all assumed.
What a great moment where Lois is like, of course, General Lane, my dad, he would do this. You don't have to do something just because you don't have to kill someone just because that man tells you to. Yeah, I know. You don't know. No, that's not General Lane. Yes, it is. Old man, salt and pepper hair. No, Mom, you're General Lane. And Lois is just like, I told you to kill someone?
Yeah. They send him back on a murder quest to kill Lex Luthor because he unleashes the Eradicators.
Although, let me. I'm going to ask a question. This is a genuine question about my own moral compass, Ed.
Okay.
Am I wrong in thinking there's nothing wrong with that?
I mean, I fully agree with you, though. I don't think there's anything wrong with that in the sense of kind of like in Avengers Endgame when they're asking, like, hey, maybe we should just go back in time and, kill baby Thanos, and just want to pretty much end this whole thing. But, like, that's when Hulk ends up explaining that that's not how time travel works.
Right.
AMC, yada, yada. But if it works like this.
If it works like this, like for me, I don't know if in 20 years, I don't know, pick an innocuous person. Because you know where I'm going to go, and I don't want to get political. Just pick an innocuous person no one can be offended by that I'm going to insult.
Yeah. I mean,
right?
Well, whatever. Let's just say if it was... Let's use... We can all safely use Hitler as an example.
Okay. Let's say Hitler rises again. Yeah. And in 20 years, he has Eradicator bots. And there's nothing to be done here. There's no way to beat him. We've tried. The best of the best are dead. I have a time travel box and a gun. I will, if I can go myself, I will. If I can't, I'm sending Finn. Does that make me bad? I just want a better world for my kids and my kid and my life and my family and the world. And it's not happening here. So I don't know, the moral like of, oh my God, I sent you to kill Lex Luthor. How many people did Lex Luthor kill?
Well, I think it kind of somewhat ties into what we're going to talk about with X-Men 97 as well. But
yes.
Yeah. Which I didn't think about until we just kind of connected the dots here.
Yeah, I didn't either until you just said it.
Which I have a feeling we're going to have a different view with that situation. Agreed. But with this situation, you know there's the person who is causing mass genocide, who's responsible for this entire thing. Maybe you just end it before he can do it. But then the way we've seen with a lot of time travel stories is that when certain, I guess there's usually fixed points that are going to happen no matter what. Like, it will happen differently, but it will happen.
Right.
So perhaps you kill Lex Luthor, but I don't know, enter in other scientist who ends up inventing Eradicator bots because that is what's supposed to happen. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, that's possible.
I think so far, I think what's supposed to happen is bad stuff. Because if you remember, bad stuff happened in the first timeline, and Lex Luthor himself sent him John back, and now bad stuff's happened in the second one. So I don't know. I mean, but I do like that they fucked up and they accidentally released the Eradicator.
Yeah. By the end of that, Jonathan Kent, and I'm sorry, his sister's name was Laura. Is it Laura Kent?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
Laura, yeah, they are the ones who go back in time, and they have no recollection of anything that's happened in the last anything that happened with Jonathan Kent prior, and that was all been erased.
Which I do have a question about that, because we saw a scene of John Kent, Superboy, go back to the future and be caught. So is that Superboy still alive? Or
my guess is yes.
Okay, right? Because they went out of their way to show that he didn't just turn into Jonathan Kent. So okay,
yeah, I think he's alive in a different timeline, but this is from another time where, again, like, I guess if you want to talk about branched timelines, like,
no, but he should be alive. He should be alive in their timeline because he returned. He went back in time. He saved Superman. He changed the future for the worse. Went back to the future. And, found himself in the changed future, and then he was abducted. He should still be in that changed future that Jonathan Kent's from.
Yeah, perhaps he helps defeat the Eradicator.
And that's what I'm thinking, because at the end of this episode, the Eradicator's lost in time.
Yep.
So, like, I something's got to happen. So that's what I'm thinking. It might be him that kind of turns the tides a bit.
Yeah, I don't think we've lost him forever. Might even see those two go head to head or something like that.
Which would be cool.
Yeah, it would be. One who's accepting of being Superboy, and the other one who's like, "Don't call me Superboy."
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, well, we also get Amanda Waller back in the mix now.
That scene is just between her, Lex, and Deathstroke. That is one of my favorite scenes, just character-wise. Like, I kind of wish I could have watched real-life actors play that scene out. It's so good. Because it's like, you get the moment where, like, Deathstroke's trying to, like, Lex, come on, we got to figure this out. Oh, hey, you're my underling. You report for me. I'm in charge. Okay. Waller comes in. He clearly sold him out. And he has that moment, Alex, I told you. I tried to tell you. And then Waller, like, having that, like, all right, well, what are we going to do? And I'm not even doing it justice, but just the conversation the three of them have throughout the episode until even after the Eradicator's release, I think is fucking great. And when she comes in at the end, who am I arresting?
Yeah, because she was just like, listen, somebody fucked up here, so I'm going to someone's going down, so just let me know who it is. I think the concept of the Eradicator, because I did want to talk about that, because this show this episode specifically takes a lot of re-envisioning of certain Superman things, which we've talked about recently. And one of them being the Eradicator, yes, he's a clone of Superman and is mostly mindless, but yet Lex was going to share part of his brain with him to control him, to kind of be his muscle.
Right.
I guess to kind of control him like that. He ends up going ahead and getting into this huge fight at the end with Superman, Jonathan Kent. We'll call him Jonathan Kent Superman, just for the sake. And Supergirl, and did they even say who Laura Lang I mean, Laura Kent goes by.
She doesn't.
So yeah, she doesn't
Yeah.
have like a superhero name. Yeah, whatever. They have their big fight at the end, and they're throwing down and everything like that. But as the Eradicator is getting hit, he seems to be mutating in some ways. Where I personally thought, I was like, wait a second, are they going to have him essentially become Doomsday?
I think so. I was thinking that. I was going to bring that up. Yeah, because he looks enough like Doomsday. You do see him evolving, and he gets more intelligent because the way he's time traveling at the end is he clocks like he's supposed to be this mindless husk, but he clocks Jonathan Kent's time travel device.
Mhm.
Lets Kent go in for the shot. I think he even lets himself get hit by it and then swipes it, so you can see that he is evolving. So I don't think we're getting like pure Doomsday. I do think we're going to get a Doomsday type fight with him.
Well, and also the way it plays out with him and Supergirl, because they have their huge fight.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of it, it is believed to be that Supergirl could be potentially dead at the end of this.
Yeah, but we don't. I mean,
no, she's not. But you know what I'm saying? It's like
yeah.
they were taking liberties with
Yeah.
some of the Death of Superman stuff and turning it to different things. And the way that I saw it was like, oh, so they're basically having Supergirl kind of somewhat service the Superman death of this while it's going on here. Just the way it played out, it kind of reminded me very much of like the Death of Superman.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
Even though she turns like Scion Supergirl and goes like nuclear on him and stuff.
I love that moment where she because they Jonathan Kent doesn't even know her. We don't even know what happens in his future, but he doesn't know her, wants nothing to do with her, and we know that she bonded with John Kent, and this is her family. And I love when the Eradicator's going to shoot them, that she gets in the way and she takes the full blast of it, like deflecting it. That's an awesome shot.
No, it is. It is. Yeah, really showing like the power of Supergirl.
Yeah, and the heart, like she knows what that's going to do to her because she knows what it's going to do to them, and she'd rather it be done to her. And I just think it's a great moment of character. And I really like this characterization of Supergirl a lot.
Yeah, so do I. So do I. And yeah, I guess also too we have the Clark Kent thing we had mentioned. He's having these visions of kind of going back to, I guess the way I interpreted it was him being kind of called back by the Fortress of Solitude and everything, and that's where he thinks he has to go to in order to get his powers back. And he has, who we believe is not like officially deemed it, but like Bizarro.
Well, he has been by my
yes.
by my closed caption.
Yes, that's true. Actually, right. The closed caption kind of made the official call last week.
Yeah.
So he goes ahead and he brings Clark to the Fortress of Solitude. I want to make a mention of something that I've noticed that this cartoon, this animated show gets a lot of kudos for that Superman 2 did not. And I have a feeling you may catch on to where I'm going with this. One thing that Superman 2 drives me completely nuts about is the members only jacket.
I knew it. I fucking knew that's where we were going.
And how Clark Kent, with no powers, would freeze to death in said members only jacket. This animated series had the wherewithal to say, let's put him in a winter coat as he's being carried by Bizarro back to the Fortress of Solitude. So kudos to My Adventures with Superman for catching on to something so basic and satisfying me. My anger towards this for over 40 years. You've definitely you've got me here.
I love that we have uncovered things that stick in our craw for years and years and years, and we just get to complain about them over and over and over again here. And I love that this is yours.
It is such a stupid detail that probably bothers nobody else in existence.
And I'm willing to bet that if it wasn't a members only jacket, not a warmer jacket, just not such a trendy jacket, you probably wouldn't have been bothered so much. But it's like, Clark, fuck you, why a members only jacket?
Yeah, it's just, I see the tag there. It's there. I know what it is. And yeah, we know anyone who's seen one in person, who's worn one, who's felt one, knows clearly you would freeze to death in that jacket.
I agree. I agree. I agreed on the show. I agreed on the episode we did.
Yes. This cartoon, though, knows better. So good
Does.
job on your
Um, and then we get the end where, all right, Clark and Bizarro are walking, and then you see these like robots coming out, and then Bizarro like fucking sucker punches him, right? Knocks him out.
Yeah.
And now, I don't think Bizarro's bad.
No.
I think he's now being used by the Fortress of Solitude. I do actually think what's going to happen will restore Clark's strength,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it was a really nice not Easter, a really nice cliffhanger to end on. Of like, whoa, what the hell? You just punched Clark in the back of the head.
No, this show, every episode kind of has us leaving with these cliffhangers that are similar, and that's our reaction every friggin' week now.
That's true. That's true.
Right? They've done a really good job at like leaving you wanting more.
Agreed.
So,
Do we miss anything? For some reason, Jimmy Flamebird and Supergirl are still not together, but he didn't go on a date with someone who tried to turn him into an animal, so that was a plus.
progress also.
Progress.
Oh wow, we have somebody here from India joining us on YouTube.
Oh.
Thank you for joining us. Appreciate that.
Thanks, appreciate it.
We enjoy it. All right, so we shall see. I believe we got 2 episodes left of My Adventures with Superman. So
all right, my prediction for next episode.
Mhm.
We're getting a Form of Steel.
yes,
Right? We have.
I agree.
It's the only one we haven't gotten. It's the only one we
me
haven't
too.
gotten, and yeah,
Maybe in this universe, it is a professional basketball player who plays center for the Los Angeles Lakers or the Orlando Magic, and he happens to also be a superhero with a sledgehammer.
and please tell me he's voiced by Shaq. Please,
That would be phenomenal. Oh
that'd be
my God.
awesome.
That would be
Although, all right, I am gonna throw a weird one out. I don't know if I believe this, but I'm gonna put my finger on it just in case it's there. What if Jimmy Flamebird becomes Steel? Because we saw in that last episode
Oh,
he had the outfit that made him a superhero. So what if their take is Jimmy Flamebird's going to become a version of Steel because
Huh.
Clark has disappeared?
I kind of like that. I did not think of that until right now. I like that. All right.
Right? I mean, it
Yeah,
only
I can get down
because
with that.
I don't think I would have thought about it if they didn't show him from the future in the suit, or the alternate. It was when the Mixaflix episode,
Yes.
right? Like that, Jimmy. So we see that in some parallel universe, Jimmy Flamebird gets a suit that allows him to be a superhero, and essentially, isn't that Steel?
Yeah, basically.
So
So,
that's
it makes
my like.
sense.
That's my like. That's not a Mojo prediction because Mojo is a joke. I never actually thought we were getting Mojo. This is more of my like just in case I'm. It could be, but I don't know.
Saying we are going to the Mutant Saga in a couple of years, so I mean that could be all bets are off.
Look, the day they put Mojo in a movie, that's the day I'm gonna die. Right, that moment I'm gonna be in the theater with you. I'm gonna be watching it. I'm gonna go. My work here on Earth is done. I've seen Mojo in a movie. That's what I was waiting for.
Or if we find out we're getting a long shot movie for some bizarre reason.
Dude, I would love and hate that. I would love it as an idea, and then we got Mojo. I would hate it that it would be Longshot. I mean, Longshot's not a very good character.
No, but you know the connection, so I mean you kind of feel like once long shot's involved, then you know Mojo.
Oh, no, well, the thing, yeah, 100%.
All right. So we shall see what happens with Superman next week. All right, so then we'll flip it over to Marvel, where on Disney Plus we have the X-Men '97 season 2,
Yeah, we do.
episode 7. And Jason, this took a turn that we were way off on because neither one of us predicted any episode like this coming.
You know what? And good. Keep ahead of us. Don't let us fucking write your show for you. If we were supposed to write your show, we'd be getting paid to do it. I loved it. I loved this episode. Loved it.
Yeah, this was a great episode.
And you know what? The biggest thing I loved about it? Our main mutants, fucking my boy Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler and Colossus are kind of like
Yes.
on the front and center in this one.
It was so good. I mean everything about this episode. But I'm sorry, I'll let you start the the discussion. I just wanted to gush over Nightcrawler.
We definitely got some YouTube peeps over here. What's up? What's going on? Welcome.
How's it going? Peace.
All right, so this episode opens with Colossus and Magic, who we haven't seen in this whatsoever, because that's his sister, and we had mentioned that when we covered New Mutants a while ago, who was portrayed by Anya Taylor-Joy in live action, spectacularly, by the way, because she was the standout. So,
She was.
I mean, I think we agree in New Mutants.
Mm-hmm.
The cast
She
was
was really
light
good.
overall, but just the movie didn't quite add up to some of its parts there. But yeah, so we get Colossus and Magic's point of view from Genosha, from that whole thing that went down. And she decides to sacrifice herself. She has her whole, sword and everything like that. And she ends up dying in front of Colossus. And she is also protecting them from that three-headed, or three-faced sentinel that was going on and taking everything down. So we kind of get an idea of Colossus's motivation for this episode right off the bat. And then we get a cut to Creed, Victor Creed's son, who was also name dropped in the Wolverine episode a couple of weeks ago. He's running for president now. And he ends up getting kidnapped by Colossus, who is running with some group called the Acolytes of Magneto now, who are wearing also those costumes, the suits from, remember in the original series when we had them with the V and everything and all that stuff? Like, there was definitely a callback to them.
Yeah, and good catch.
Yeah, they were rocking those that were on Asteroid M. And they kidnapped Creed, and they basically are making demands to release all the mutants that were captured by X-Factor. That's kind of their thing. It kind of somewhat took me back to Die Hard a little bit, where, Hans Gruber is asking for random names to be, I don't even remember some of them are, that to be released, and that was going to be it, but that was also a distraction.
Because they were going to kill Creed anyway, right? Like, that was the plan.
I think that was the plan.
Yeah. That was the plan. We'll get to it when we get to the end of the episode. What I love, a couple things I love about the setup. One, Colossus on what we would think of as the bad guy team makes us realize it's not as cut and dry as evil mutants and good mutants anymore. And it really never was, because we know Colossus is a good fucking guy.
Yes.
We know this. And we see it in this episode. And we know why he has turned to these extremists. And everything they say about Creed, about why they kidnapped him, they're not wrong. And I think that's the beauty of this episode is, and what they're doing with Magneto, what they've been doing with Magneto is, I don't think, and I've noticed that I don't think they use the term Brotherhood of Evil Mutants anymore. I think it's just Brotherhood of Mutants, and I think it's become more of, no, we're a team. Some of us are evil, sure, but not all of us are. And I love that. I love that nuance of character. That this wasn't just a drag-them-out fight. This was really two very good-hearted X-Men trying to parse out what's right.
Yes. Yeah, fully agreed there. But yeah, so Nightcrawler and part of the team that's sent to kind of intervene here is headed up by Nightcrawler. We get Nightcrawler, Rogue, Polaris, Bishop, and Beast are the ones who are sent on this mission, and they are going to the Savage Land, which is, this part of it is also a callback to the previous seasons, because we also get where Mr. Sinister was there previously and set up this whole nullifier, and that's why
they call him out.
They call him out, and they lose their powers, temporarily. And because the Acolytes of Magneto are using this to basically as a defense system, but they also have these inhibitors that I guess allow them to get around it, so they can still have their powers.
Yeah.
So yeah, when they crash land, Polaris and Bishop are separated from the rest of the team, and then we get Nightcrawler, Rogue, and Beast, and they are found by Colossus and the Acolytes of Magneto.
Now, before we get into the A plot, I just want to talk about just a moment, because it's one of the coolest action sequences, and it's making me love Polaris even more. Because remember, I said I don't know this character outside of like theory. I've never actually seen her in action.
Yeah.
Now I'm getting to see her in action. When Bishop falls, like we don't have powers, and she goes, "All right." She takes her seatbelt off, throws herself out, and I'm thinking, you don't have powers. What are you gonna do? That doesn't matter. She fucking it's like a little bit. She grabs the parachute. She grabs Bishop. She turns. She deploys. And I'm like, she did that without powers. She did that knowing she didn't have powers. That was fucking awesome.
Yeah, no, she's pretty badass, man. She really is.
Really, like I want to read more about this character. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I also have a feeling that I don't know the way that they interacted. I don't know. I got the vibe that they her and Bishop might be, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think down the line that's probably going to happen. Not sure how that works out with Bishop's powers, but I don't want to go down that road.
I don't need no. I don't need to know that. But we know X-Men fuck, right? I mean, Rogue and Magneto were together for a while.
Gambit, yeah.
And Gambit. Well, but Gambit could never touch her.
Yes, exactly.
That was the thing, right? Magneto could, because he could be like, "Oh, I'm gonna use the magnetism around your skin to make my skin touchy to spend the Magneto magic."
Yeah, and Jean and Scott and whatever the X-Men, it's part of the deal. It's just
but you know what? No one's fucking Wolverine. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, there you go. Well, he has a son. Well, no, he has a son at some point, but yeah, I don't even remember what.
Right now, it's a date for 3. Him is picture of Jean, a box of Kleenex.
Yeah, basically, it's tough. It's a tough time for. Well, we don't even know where the hell he is right now.
That's true. I don't even know why I'm fucking on him. He's not even. I'm making fun of him. He's not even here.
He's gallivanting somewhere after his whole little side quest adventure there. All right, so so we get they get found. Bishop and, like I said, Polaris is separated. But then basically it's discussed where we get Colossus and Nightcrawler have the conversation, and they talk. They know that Creed is basically locked up, and they propose Nightcrawler proposes a trial because he believes. Remember, his brother is redeemable. Colossus doesn't seem to be speculating here. Then we get a character named Exodus who is also involved. He's the leader of the Acolytes of Magneto. Him and Nightcrawler. What was that?
What a shit heel. We'll get to him at the end, but what a shit heel.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit. But they go ahead and they're like, "Hey, listen, we'll agree to this. We'll have the trial, and that's that." And Colossus though is the judge. Nightcrawler specifically asks for Colossus to be the judge because, back to what you said, he knows in his heart, he knows Colossus. He's a good dude. He will make the right call in the end, and he'll abide by whatever it is that's being said there. So, yeah, Great and Creed's on trial, and then he gets asked, by Nightcrawler, why do you hate mutants so much? What's your whole deal? And he tells them, basically, you hate mutants because your parents are mutants, and you didn't ever develop powers. And he ends up spilling the beans though on it.
Yeah, even worse because he's like, because I forgot about this, but yeah, his mother is Mystique, his father is Sabretooth. Mystique.
More X-Men.
Exactly. Mystique pretty much tossed him away. That's what Mystique does. Mystique is a litter of fucking mutant children and tosses them away in the beginning. And then he was raised a bit by Sabretooth, who pretty much abused him and beat the shit out of him. And Creed's only thing was wait till you hit you become 13, 14, you'll get your powers. Then you can hunt with him. You can make him happy. He'll stop abusing you. And I thought that's very interesting because that's very much an abused child mentality, right? You need to prove to yourself to the abuser. And then once he doesn't get it, Sabretooth fucking cuts him loose. And I love that. No, he hates his parents. He hates that he never got to be a mutant. He hates himself for not being strong enough. And that's what Kurt tells him, right? Nightcrawler, he's like, you need to forgive yourself for feeling that you weren't strong enough. And again, great moment. There's some fucking wonderful Nightcrawler stuff here. And the fact that this is all about finding out the root of evil, the root of hatred, right? Like, yeah, it's Creed, and it's a Muty hater. But like, imagine we're putting a Nazi on trial like this. Imagine we're putting on like an actual historical person or an actual historical category that, or a KKK member or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Very likely you would get the same roots of the hatred. But here they're exploring it like through X-Men. It's just such good writing for a cartoon, and a fucking cartoon is this good.
Yeah, both of them crushing it though. With
Really,
both these things. So yeah, so basically that's what we find out here, and he kind of admits to it and everything. And then Colossus is about to go ahead and reveal his verdict, and then he gets attacked by Exodus.
and this is why Exodus is a piece of shit. Exodus didn't even let him give his rank, his ruling.
Yeah.
Exodus just goes, enough with this. And he attacks the Colossus, and they try to kill Creed. Creed grabs a gun. Creed, of course, grabs Nightcrawler. I'm sorry, wrong fucking mutant to grab. Puts a gun to his head and says, I killed this mutie. And Nightcrawler's like, fuck you, dude. He takes him to the middle of nowhere in the Arctic.
Yeah. And he ends up, whatever. He ends up leaving him there. But not to kill him, because he's still not going to do that. But, the X-Men basically tip off X-Factor to come get him, and they leave him there, so they kind of give him a huge scare tactic there.
But that beautiful moment, though, where Nightcrawler goes, you know what? When he's talking about, like, the job of a higher power is to forgive or whatever it is, like he's going through his Christian stuff. And he goes, but, not being a higher power, it's hard for that. And all the hatred you brought and all the people you killed, and he wraps his tail around his throat and picks him up. He's like, maybe it would be better if you were just killed. Like, he has this whole moment where he himself thinks, am I defending you for the wrong reasons? Maybe this is the best. And then because it is Nightcrawler, he goes, but I am not a higher power, and I am not one who can make these decisions. And and he just disappears. And what a beautiful character moment. Even Nightcrawler thinks this guy, at some level, believes this guy deserves death.
Yeah, and by the way, I want to commend you on the Nightcrawler voice that you.
Oh, thank you.
Wrote. I enjoy that. That's
thank you. I appreciate that.
We're gonna have to stick with this, like moving forward.
I will.
Yeah, no, you have to. Yeah, if you're quoting Kurt Wagner, then you have to go ahead and go
Wagner. It's a Nightcrawler.
But in all of this, though, while this whole thing is getting broken down, Bishop and Polaris ride in on fucking pterodactyls with guns and take down the inhibitors. So then we get the all-out, X-Men battle that goes on, and they're fighting the acolytes of Magneto, and that whole drag him out thing happens because we do need to get that.
Just in case you're not like me and you're not here just for the conversations and soul searchings of morality, and you want some actual fighting in your X-Men, here we are.
But the thing is, what makes X-Men great is we get both.
No, that is. And that's the thing is, you can reasonably come for both in your X-Men. That's the beauty of X-Men.
Yes. Agreed. How about, though, Kurt Wagner goes ahead and fights Exodus with a duel.
Oh yes. Duel. He fucking pulls out his saber, which I think it's one of the reasons I love him. He's like, what does he say? He goes, I knew from the beginnings that you've just another zealot looking for your 15 minutes of fame. He said something like that. It's like, oh, shut down.
But yeah, so then that whole thing breaks up. They got on the Blackbird or whatever it is that I don't even know if it was the Blackbird they used to get back to the school. And
it doesn't matter.
No, it's fine. But then they have a quick conversation though, Nightcrawler and Colossus. And he's like, "Welcome home, brother," and everything like that. Like Colossus is back in the fold. He's with the team now again. He's done with these guys. But then Nightcrawler asks him, "What was the verdict?" And he's like, "I couldn't find him innocent."
Yeah,
but
not convinced me.
But Magic would have wanted that, and she would have found him though. So yeah, she was gonna reveal innocent, but not because he felt that way. He felt like that's what his sister would have done.
Yeah, but I think it's great. And then that's the end of the episode, right?
No. We got a huge thing at the end because we got.
Oh, okay.
We got our jaws dropped again at the end of this. Let's not.
Oh yeah, you're. Oh shit. You're right.
We find X-Force.
Yeah, wait. But before we move on, though, I just want to because I did want to mention something about this over here. Before we move on, weren't you convinced? If you were Colossus, how would you have found? He lives or he dies?
I think his motives were understandable of why his whole mutant hating thing is going on. But I think he also proved after even admitting all of that he wasn't going to stop anytime soon. So on one hand, sure, he's innocent, but then do you need to take extreme measures to stop him from going forward for the safety of all mutants? I still think it's complicated, to be completely honest. So I don't know. It's a cop out. I don't want to cop out of this, but because you did ask the question, I think he ends up being innocent.
Okay, interesting.
I think so.
All right.
But the question, the question is though, you still has to he did prove to you though he is innocent, but he ain't stopping.
Well, he proved why it happened.
Why? Yeah, you understand his motives.
You understand why he got there. See, and here's the thing, and I think this might shock you, knowing what you know about me. I would put this man to death.
I can see that
because I saw his motivation, and it was awful. But he has done nothing to change that. He has made it clear he does not want to change that. And people who do not want to change don't change. And just having an awful childhood does not give you carte blanche to ruin other people's lives. And on that alone, I would have sided with Colossus. And nope, sorry, he's irredeemable.
Yeah, I could agree with that though. I could agree with that.
All right, but now let's get to the fucking good stuff.
Oh, now's the good stuff. Okay.
Now's the good stuff. All right.
So at the end of the episode, though, we catch up with X-Force, who we haven't seen in a while since their X-Force episode. And Cable is there.
New hair. Jubilee's new hair. I love it.
She's got her own X-Force do going.
Yeah.
They find a tomb in Athens, and it's a drained corpse of Apocalypse. But though they find a playing card.
Mm-hmm.
Near there.
Yep.
So Gambit just drained the life out of Apocalypse?
That's what it looks like. I mean, what is his powers as when he is a horseman? Do you know offhand?
I thought they were the same, to be completely honest.
Okay.
I thought it was the same thing.
Maybe I don't know. But it does. We are given the impression that the returned Gambit sucked the life out of Apocalypse. He is a corpse. He is not even a shambling corpse. He's dust.
Yeah.
Now, of course, he's not dead. He'll be back.
Of course not.
Just give him 100 years to regenerate.
I don't know what to make of this ending.
I don't know either. Honest. I had to watch it twice.
Yeah.
Honestly, because it happened, and my son said something. I looked away. I looked back, and I'm looking at Apocalypse. I'm like, whoa, no. I gotta go back a bit. I don't know what's going on here. And then I watched it and I went, shit, wow. I still don't know what happened, but at least now I know how it happens.
Yeah, I've got nothing for you until episode 8 because I was pretty shocked.
But I mean, that's cool. I will say this. I love how X Factor still kind of plays around, because they're still, look, X Factor is a different team than our X-Men, but X-Men isn't just X-Men. X-Men is like the mutant banner. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, we do get X Factor and all these Excalibur, all these other X's going on, but like these characters all originate from the X-Men. So I love that we got X Factor on missions, even if it's just in the scenes at the end just to set the next one up. Like, they're still there in the universe. I really like that.
Yeah, for sure. Another YouTube watcher. Happy Monday. Happy Monday to you too.
Happy Monday.
You could join us today. All right, so we'll see what happens with X-Men 97 next week. I do think that's the finale, actually.
No, it's not.
Let me just double check that because that.
No, I mean, You would know more than me. I just don't want to go.
Uh,
I get so into it when it's here. I love this new run.
let's see. There's 9 episodes, so we have 2 more left. All right, so not
All
over
right.
just yet. We have 2 more left.
Okay. All right. All right. All right.
Fair
I'll
enough.
make
Because I was wondering how they were going to wrap this up in one, at least this season. You still need 2 episodes, I think, to kind of let things play out.
Yeah, because we also got we got a lot of plates in the fire. A lot of things that we gotta wrap up some of Logan stuff. We gotta wrap up. Definitely gotta wrap up this Gambit stuff. I don't want this Gambit stuff wrapped up in one episode. I mean, this
That
needs
needs to be immediately in the next episode. I want to know what the hell's going on with Gambit Apocalypse.
Same.
So, all right, so we will check that out then next week. All right, so then that brings us to our movie of the week here. So we got the latest entry into the MCU was biggest Spider-Man movie that we got here going on. We also do have a guest that is joining us for this episode. Tim, what's up?
Gentlemen, what's going on? Happy
Tim.
Monday.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Happy Monday, man.
I like the
What's going on,
Spaceballs
guys?
t-shirt.
Yes, must represent.
Nice.
Yeah, so we're gonna be talking about this movie that is apparently officially, as a couple hours ago, the largest domestic opening in the history of the box office. It actually beat out Avengers Endgame, which, Tim, that's kind of mind-blowing.
It is, and I was shocked by that too. But I don't know. People have been saying they've been disappointed with a lot of the MCU movies in the last couple of years. So I think they were really fiending for a Spider-Man and kind of an end to all the fucking multiverse stuff. I think they just wanted a good old fashioned, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man movie. But I mean, the movie blew me away. So I mean, it was worth every second of waiting for it to come out. So, but yeah, I think it was worth it. I think was it better than Endgame? I don't know, but I think people have been fiending. I think people have been fiending for this for years now. That's what it was. No multiverse crap. Just of course they had magic or whatever you want to call it, but still, there's no jumping through universes, no multi people. It was just a nice stay at home New York City Spider-Man movie.
I'm glad you brought some of that up though, because I just think, I mean, whatever, we'll never know. We'll all have our theories on why this movie is, hit so well regarding box office wise, right? Because we've all agreed and talked about this on and off the air. Box office doesn't always equal quality, right? Like you could have garbage go there, and you could also have greatness that nobody sees.
Transformers. Transformers.
Yeah, exactly. Like
you read my mind. You literally read my fucking mind.
See, and we thought there would be no superpowered stuff on the show. I thought that's what we're going to do. No, but like it's. I think there's a lot of things, right? Like Tim, you had mentioned some people have been, since Endgame, that is that whole thing of the MCU is not the same and yada yada and this and that. On our show, I feel like we're pretty honest about calling spade is spade and it is what it is with each one. But Spider-Man is also just a box office juggernaut. Like No Way Home made, billions of dollars as well, right? Like, but it didn't surpass Endgame. This movie, when there was no rumors of Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire returning and all this other stuff, like it was just like, hey, we know Hulk's in the movie, Punisher's in the movie. There may or may not be a Jean Grey in the movie or not, and then that, whatever, we're talking spoilers here. So, yes, Jean Grey is in the movie. So that's all there. But I think it's a lot of things that are real. Again, just talking box office here. People love Spider-Man. I mean, he's my favorite character. A lot of people genuinely do. Mm-hmm. Even going to the theater. Sam, you've seen it twice, right? Or
twice. Yeah.
So I don't know what you saw, but Jason, we went Thursday night or Thursday late afternoon. You saw it also. when you go to the theater and seeing this, like everyone's got T-shirts on, everyone's got hats on, everyone's got the merch. People are lining up. I mean, these bastards finally got me to buy a cup after God knows how many years of this. It's just, he's a marketing machine. I mean, his popularity is more. He's the most popular superhero there is. Comic book character, you know. I think. I mean,
I was a very bad boy.
Batman too, but like Batman also makes money. Batman's also pervious too, and he's super.
I think him and Batman are the two. I think Batman is DC's and Spider-Man is the MCU's. But you're right. I mean, it's a juggernaut. Like people, because who doesn't love Spider-Man? He's a nebbish Queens boy who can't catch a break. He's the everyman, you know. Like he is what it would be to actually get powers if you were a 15, you know, without like living in Queens, like not being rich. Like he is what the closest thing any of us will get to being a superhero, right?
Yeah.
Watching ourselves through his eyes. So yeah, that's his staying power, and
the imperfect life that comes with it.
Yes,
which appeals to people.
Right. Exactly.
And see, I was a very bad boy.
Oh boy, they got you with the bucket.
Dude, I was standing there staring at that bucket for 20 minutes. That and the other one, I'm like, you know what? You only live once. Fuck it. Oh my God. I was like, I'm gonna do it. So yeah. And you know the funny thing what you said about the t-shirts, Ed, I had my Spider-Man shirt says this exit to Queens and it has Spider-Man on it. I got so many reactions just from that alone. Yo, I love that shirt. Love that. Whoa, are you from Queens? I'm like, yeah, I'm actually am. Oh, I'm from Corona. Oh, I'm from, and don't forget, I'm in Jersey. I'm in Jersey, so I'm getting. Oh, I'm from Corona. I'm from Middle Village. I'm like, dude, I'm Middle Village. I know. I live there. Yeah. So it was like a huge deal. It was a huge deal for Queens people and New York people. So it was big.
Yeah. And by the way, we got Jader and Faraci joining us. Also, so thanks guys for joining. Jader, again, apologies, we had to kind of flip. I know you were supposed to join us for this.
I'm so sorry, Jader. I take responsibility for that. Something came up with me last night, brother, but I owe you one.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll try to figure out some way to get you back on here, and we can talk some Spider-Man then. But yes, it's true. Spider-Man is a man for the people. Yeah, you're like, you know, you guys just mentioned too. Spider-Man is the guy that he's the most relatable character I think that you have, and that's why a lot of people are always drawn to him as well. Also, Faraci's advocating for Aquaman because apparently Aquaman has their work cut out for them now also. And we got John Drama get signed on here. And Faraci's also a big Spider-Man guy too. Got a cup, popcorn bucket, and a blanket.
Nice.
A blanket.
I love it. I love that every time someone chimes in, they got something else.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, was the air conditioning too high in the Florida theater? Is that went on there?
Oh yeah, quick side note. I got that thing was $50 for that in the cup. I got times 2 because my kid wanted it too. So I spent $100 on 2 buckets and 2 cups. So when I got up to the counter, they were like, "Oh, would you like to put the popcorn in here?" I said, "No." So you want to put the soda in here? I said, "No, these are mediums. You're giving me larges because I just spent $100 goddamn dollars. You're not putting popcorn in this little tiny bucket. You're giving me." She goes, "Oh, you're right. Most people don't do that." I go, "No, I want larges for both, please, and the refills." She goes, "Okay, yeah," but she did it.
Apparently, Jada was in the same thing. Regal got him 2 buckets and the cup, and I was over there fighting because I bought this cup. Well, number one, I did like this cup more than the other, like the one. Tim, the cup to the one that you got, I also thought was awesome. But when I saw this one with the whole comic book thing and the little dude hanging up, Spider-Man hanging upside down, and I was like, "Oh, this one's $13 and the other one is $20-something." Yeah, you sold me. I mean, I will obviously take the cheaper cup and the one that I like more.
Wait, was that at Atlas?
This was at Midway.
Oh, because they won't let you sell here. They won't give you the cup without the bucket. You got to buy both.
Oh, whoa.
So it was either $50 or $30. And I was like, you know what? You live once. Who cares? Get the goddamn thing. So we both got. So that's why me and Jax both got the cup and the bucket, and it was $50 each. Fill my bucket of my soda. Don't give me this medium shit.
Yeah, I did actually down the entire soda, which I actually usually get a small one. Kind of like
Well, it was long. The movie was long. It didn't seem long, but it was long.
It didn't seem long at all, honestly.
No. And also, apparently, Jada's mom doesn't go to the movies, but she saw it twice, which I've seen it twice. I was almost going to see it again this morning, but I opted to sleep in a little bit because I just didn't get a great night of sleep the night before, so I took it. But when they announced this morning they're going to roll out IMAX, tickets go on sale tomorrow. Well, you don't have to twist my arm. Now you gave me another reason to go back, and I'm going to go see it in IMAX next weekend.
Yeah.
That's like a given.
Yeah, no, you kind of have to.
Yeah, but also, like, we were talking about the box office too, right? And we're kind of opening up talking about the appeal and the popularity of this movie and this character. Is this box office record was set with no IMAX because the Odyssey still had IMAX. So you wanted to see John Bernthal and Tom Holland and Zendaya in, IMAX, you still got to see them, and you could see them again next weekend and moving forward. Dude, that's crazy. Because every article I've read recently, talking about why is the box office struggling, like here and there, like movies you think would make money or not. They're kind of like, well, big, other formats are how theaters are making money now. And if you don't have the biggest format, the most commonly known format available for your movie, and you still set this record, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And honestly might work out for them at end to have more staying power, because there are people kind of like us who might be like, oh, well, now it's an IMAX. I'll see it in that too. You just gave me another reason to go back again. So it might have actually worked out for them.
Yeah, I mean, hell, maybe they've unlocked a new marketing strategy, right? Release it and then release it in IMAX a week later or 2 weeks later or whatever.
Yeah, and Jason, I know we saw it in regular format on
We did.
Thursday. I saw it in RPX 3D the next morning.
That's what I saw it in.
That's what you saw it in? So
Yes.
I guess we can transition to this part of it then too is, dude, the 3D, the swinging scenes were insane.
I was just about to tell you.
Actually, we're well worth seeing it in 3D now.
I was going to tell
cool.
you, take a Dramamine if you're going to see it in IMAX, because those scenes, I was like, these are ridiculous.
Yeah, Jason, if there's a 3D thing, and because I know you were talking about seeing it,
Yeah.
I know you're not into the 3D thing, but
I am going to see it again, but if you're saying that I don't mind 3D. Like,
okay.
Honestly, I saw Avatar in 3D. It's the reason I liked Avatar.
Yeah.
I never watched it again, but I enjoyed the experience because it was a movie that lent itself to that. I don't like when they make a movie and then go, oh yeah, we grafted 3D on it. Hey, look, there's something coming at you. Hey, there's a 3D. If you're telling me that this actually has moments where the 3D pays off, I 100% am going to try to see it in 3D.
I think the biggest, Tim, I don't know about you, but like the biggest things for me were, number one was the swinging scenes. Like anything with, and the way it's shot, even in regular format, is wild. Like we've never seen a lot of POV Spider-Man swinging, and you do get some of that early in this movie. And even throughout it, when he's swinging, this is very much unlike anything we've kind of like really seen before, which lends itself to like part of like, I think this movie is shot very differently from the previous Spider-Man movies, which also adds like giving something fresh to the audience for that.
Mm-hmm.
And the 3D aspect, and for that, and when they're showing because Tim, we talked about this and we kind of agree that this is how the villains, a lot of the villains in the movie were going to be shown. Boomerang, Tarantula, Tombstone, even though I thought we were going to get a little more Tombstone, but it's fine. He's part of the collage there. Is those scenes in slow motion in 3D, like those look awesome, especially in that. Like I think that popped more for me too in the 3D part.
Yeah, they look really, really cool. And like I said, the swinging was done so well. You got the wind, you got the shaky cam.
Yeah,
and that's what added to make it like holy shit, I'm gonna get a little sick here. I was like, this is a little ridiculous and especially when he was sitting upside down.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, all right, I don't like this because this is like this is freaking me out a little bit. But yeah, the 3D is definitely worth it. I said we saw it twice in RPX 3D and it was definitely worth it.
Yeah, I did like seeing it in the multiple formats, and yes, I'm going to see it in IMAX. So if there's an IMAX 3D to jump on top of that, I probably would. But yeah, definitely worth it in the 3D. Like it's if you can find it in 3D, because they've scaled back on 3D showings over the last so many years. Because I think they were just realizing maybe it was a little bit overkill. This movie definitely worth it though, and any other formats that you can, special ones you can see them. All right, so if we get into the movie itself, I guess overall thoughts on it. I'll start off in this one. I know usually I'd kick it to one of you guys, but I will go ahead. We can go around.
Yeah,
Jason.
you are the Spider-Man expert, Ed. This is your show.
I absolutely adored this movie. I thought it was awesome. I loved it in every aspect. I thought it was a great Peter Parker story, and that was first and foremost. I think as a Spider-Man story, it also does work as well, but it is mainly a Peter Parker story. I think the other characters that are brought into this make it feel like a run of Spider-Man comics. And if you've read any run of Spider-Man comics, you feel like in Marvel's New York City, he can run into, Dr. Banner. He can run into Frank Castle. He can go ahead and have a quick conversation with Yelena in a hot tub in Brooklyn. And also, by the way, kudos to movie because you didn't have him swinging to Brooklyn. You had him jump on a train and go down to. Yes, I am pointing out the details, Jason, because
it's
Tim would have cracked up
though.
if Tim was listening about what we talked about in the Superman thing. He would have got that. I kudoed the My Adventures with Superman show for having the detail of giving Clark a winter jacket to go to the Fortress of Solitude because he would have froze to death, unlike Superman 2. Because the members only jacket, he would have died. And you've heard this from me for like 30 years, I feel like. So,
I can't fight that part. You've
never argued one word back about it. But no, this is it works on every level of a comic book movie for me because it feels like a live action comic book, and that's what as much as I loved Homecoming and I like Far From Home a lot too. No Way Home was phenomenal, and if you listen to our show about that, I had that right up there with like Spider-Man 2 as my favorite Spider-Man movies. This is certainly in the conversation. I haven't fully landed on if I like it more than No Way Home or not, but this movie, again, hit on every level. It doesn't feel crowded. Also, the action's great. The storytelling's great. And boy, do you feel Peter Parker's heartbreak in certain scenes. And you feel his emotion every single time. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it nailed everything for me. So this was, massive home run for me. And I can't wait to see it for a third time. Jason, what were your thoughts?
So I loved everything about this movie except for one thing, but that one thing is stuck in my craw. So now, having said that, I still think it's in the running to be one of the best Spider-Man movies. Like, I'm not discounting it, right? This isn't me shitting on the movie. I love the Peter Parker stuff. I'm gonna tell you this: my favorite part about this movie was Spider-Man and the Punisher being friends. That's my literally straight up my favorite part is watching them together. I found out, friend of the show, Walter, my co-teacher, we were texting about this movie. I didn't know that Bernthal and Holland were like good friends in real life.
Yeah.
And so, of course, it's fun to watch them. They're just friends on set having fun. But like that stuff was great. The Punisher stuff was great. I liked seeing Angry Hulk again. That was awesome. I love the Peter Parker stuff. I love the way he gets the way he kind of gets MJ gets put back in his life, and he can't. And you see him not being able to let them go, and he's kind of like shadowing them. I thought that was awesome. The one thing that sticks with me is I don't love Jean Grey being the antagonist. I just don't. And I've sat with this. I don't mind that she's in the movie. I don't mind that we're setting up the X-Men with it. We have a ton of rogues galleries, people from Spider-Man. Spider-Man's the one group like that you have that like we could have found someone to be at least a puppet villain or something other than Damage Control. And we were talking about this. Like it could have been someone like the Jackal or something like that. It didn't have to be a big name. I just felt like Jean Grey comes in hot and heavy as a villain, and then of course she's not. We find this out, but then the movie becomes about Jean Grey's redemption at the end. And yes, I get that it mirrors Peter's redemption. I did not miss that, but I just felt like the antagonist needed to be a bit more rooted in the Spider-Man stuff for me. And so the Jean Grey stuff, that just sits weird with me. I am going to see it again. I might change my mind on that. I've only seen it once, but that was my initial thought. However, having said that, I did really enjoy this movie. Every other aspect about it immensely.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Absolutely fair. No, when we talked about it, like Spider-Man and Batman have the two greatest rogues galleries of any
Right.
comic book character. So yeah, I get it. You wanted them to, go ahead and
And
use it, utilize it.
yeah, just include it. And she could have been there because it's one thing if you got a Doctor Strange movie and it's like, all right, well, Scarlet Witch is going to be your antagonist. It's like, all right, well, you did Dormammu, and I can't name you another fucking Doctor Strange villain, so have at it. You know what I mean? But this is Spider-Man. And they gave us really cool Rogues Gallery people, and I love that stuff with Scorpion. I want more of that Scorpion.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I think he's going to end up. Those characters, those guys that we saw in the collage and the montage, they're not going to go away. I think they're going to be around for a bit. I mean, who knows? Maybe even we actually get Spider-Man fighting the Sinister Six one day. There's no way that can't happen one day.
I don't think the Sinister Six is going to be the team that it is in the comic.
No.
But I do think there will be a Sinister Six of villains. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Tim, what do you got?
Yeah, I freaking love this movie. Probably my favorite one, and I love Tom Holland. I love how he did what he did with this character. Um, when I going in, I was like, I wonder where he's gonna make me cry this time, because I think in every movie he has that one scene where it's like you feel it, feel what he's feeling. In the first one, it was when he was trapped underneath the building fell on him.
Yeah,
and he has that cry, that crying, that please help me moment. I was like, oh God, why am I feeling this? Why am I feeling? Then him when May died, you feel everything that he gives you. I love that. Now, of course, my two favorite Marvel characters are Hulk and Punisher. So there was no way I was not going into this movie all giggly, because I was. I was actually sitting going hee like a little kid. Holy shit, there he is. Holy shit, there he is. Holy shit, they're fighting each other. I had such a blast with that. I wasn't a fan of PG-13 Punisher, but I get it, so I'll let it slide, because he really wasn't, violent, angry, I will kill you Punisher. He can't be in this movie. It's a Spider-Man movie, so he can't. But I let that go, like you said, because of the chemistry between Holland and Berthenol. They have such great chemistry. Even in the Odyssey, their fucking 10-minute scene was outstanding.
They have a Hot Ones together out right now, which I didn't get a chance to watch yet.
Yeah, I watched part of it.
Did you? I know Tom Holland pukes or something at one point.
Oh, I didn't catch all of it. I only caught the beginning of when they were doing it. And they told the story and how they shot each other's audition tapes.
Yes,
for the movies.
Yeah,
I think that again, that's fantastic too.
Beautiful. That's beautiful.
It is. It's so great that they had such a weird. They look polar opposite, and yet they're so close, and you can see it on the screen. I love it. I like how they shot with showed Ned and MJ at school. I know how they show how the time went by. Yeah, and there was a little. Listen, the middle part had me thinking of, because it was Peter Parker more in the middle, but it didn't leave you like, oh my God, this is boring. It's just like, oh, this is what Peter's going through. This sucks. I can't see, but again, I tell everybody, this is Spider-Man, people. Spider-Man's not happy. Don't think Spider-Man is happy, because he's not. Peter Parker is not happy. But it did end on a happy note, which I was like, holy shit. I'm shocked. I thought we were going to get a sad note.
Mm-hmm.
Really did. But I absolutely love this movie. I saw it twice. I would love to see it again. Maybe I can try to get down for the IMAX version. Like I said, the swinging scenes made me sick. I'm glad we did not get I'm glad we did not get Man Spider. I like what they did with that whole storyline. It was more of like I don't want to say puberty, but it was more of a just him developing kind of thing, and I like that too. But yeah, overall, I love the lead, and I like Sadie Sink a lot. She was great on Stranger Things, so I think she's going to make a great Jean Grey, and she signed a 5-picture deal, so we're definitely going to see a lot of her again, and I'm happy about that too.
Yeah, agreed. Oh wow, we got everyone joining us here. Don chiming in. 5 out of 5. Yeah, on a 5, we're doing numbers. 5. I'm with you 100%, dude. 5 out of 5 for me. For Brand New Day. Oh, yes to No Man Spider. I had some friends upset that we didn't get that.
I wanted Man Spider. This is the guy you want. I was watching it going, oh, we're gonna get Man Spider. Oh, Man Spider's coming.
So I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think we usually like to talk about the characters because we just did overall thoughts, but obviously we got to start with Spider-Man. I wanted Man Spider also. I'm going to be honest. I didn't think we were getting him, but I wouldn't have been opposed to it, put it that way, at least briefly. And I know Tom Holland said he had kind of nixed the idea of it because he thought it might be too scary for kids and stuff like that. So I did see
Damn you, Tom Holland. Stop being such a good guy.
That shit would have been silly as fuck. I don't know, Jader. Like, I think if done correctly, you could have gotten something kind of cool. And I don't think it should have played out throughout the entire film. I would have liked, maybe a 5-minute, time period. Maybe you get some mutating spider stuff, but it's fine. And now he's kind of reading my mind here with this. Maybe in a dream sequence, fine. I would have been meet it there. Maybe that's how he envisioned himself.
That would have worked.
Because they were talking about the monster inside him all for a lot of it, especially Gene's telling him that. So that could have been how he saw himself. That would have been a happy medium, I think, to get there.
I agree.
But Tim, you brought up a good point where I think it's a good jumping off point to talk about Spider-Man, / Peter Parker in this movie. I do think this is his whole journey of dealing with the arachnid levels and DNA growing and stuff and everything like that. I do think it is him becoming Spider-Man. And there is the puberty aspect to it also that I think is the parallel is a correct one, to be honest. Because even when that scene where he's watching the video of the spider and it's telling him all this stuff, and it even says like when the spider is growing and becoming an adult, like it does all this. He saw that, he was like grossed out by it, but that's what I think they were going for because, at the end of No Way Home, we were kind of like, this is now Spider, some people joke about, Spider Boy, this and that. Now, that was him pushing towards Spider-Man. And this is in a physical form of him becoming Spider-Man. And that was his whole journey throughout this movie, was doing that and becoming an adult. He's in college now and everything like that, or his college years. And that's what I think is mirroring there. And him also growing up and learning that, you couldn't really undo the spell or anything like that. Like by the end of this movie, it's MJ says, yeah, you could, she finds the letter, she reads it, she wants to see him, she finds out that Peter Parker is Spider-Man again. And I know there was like, on the second viewing, the girls next to us were like, oh, like, they did it. But then, no, not really. It's like, I don't have any memories of you. I don't know who you are. I don't love you because I can't just magically read this letter and then suddenly it's all good. And I think that was one of the biggest kudos for me for this movie, besides all the cool shit we talked about before, is that it didn't backtrack on No Way Home. It respects No Way Home and builds on it, actually. And I'm glad they didn't just take the cheap way out and reverse it and pretend it never happened. Because I think I feel like that's a lot of franchises would have done some shit like that.
No, I agree, and I love the way it was handled with MJ. I thought and Ned, because you're right, it doesn't, and we don't even know what happens. Like it ends with Ned maybe remembering Peter, but we don't know what happens. And if he does remember him or something, maybe it's Jean Grey stuff. I mean, that stuff we'll get into when we get to the next Spider-Man movie. But I love the fact that MJ's like, yeah, well, thank you, and you seem like a good guy, and yeah, I don't feel that way. And I love that moment, like, all right, I'm leaving now. Comes back in. I don't have a phone. Can you take me home? Yeah. And one of my favorite parts about MJ in these movies is how much she is terrified swinging with him, because that's real. Yeah. Like she is like on him, eyes closed, and they show you her face of terror. And I fucking love that because I'm sorry, anyone but if anyone riding with Spider-Man would be terrified.
We were riding with Spider-Man in a way, in the scene that Tim was almost going to puke.
I was terrified.
Right, exactly.
I was holding on to the seat like it was his arm. I was like, please, Jesus, please don't let me fall down.
So I love that little moment with them.
Jada brings up a good point, by the way. Is he in college? I mean, maybe not. I don't know. Like, yeah, it's true. We don't really see him go to school a lot, but he's kicking ass.
I don't
He's
think.
being Spider-Man in this. That's his main job in this.
Yeah, I don't think he is in college because when he goes to the college to see Banner, he's not there for school. He's there for Banner specifically because he needs to know about like what's like, certain things going on. So I don't actually think he is in school, Jader, which
Well, that's
is
why. Yeah. Go ahead.
it's weird. I mean, I guess maybe that'll be in the next one, or maybe I don't know. I don't know, but I think it's a great question because the Peter Parker we know usually does go to college.
Yeah, well, I also did Walk It Back. I mean, like college years, like around like that's where he kind of is in this movie, right? Like he's not. In high
Oh yeah,
school
for
anymore.
sure.
He's done that. He's around there, and I think they do make a good point. I'm going to say he does not. He's not actually enrolled in a college at the moment because there is a when he has his conversations with the police officer that he works with. She's even like, "Do you do anything else besides this? Like, this is your life." And I think also him not going to college and he's not Peter Parker. He is just Spider-Man.
Yes.
All the time. And that's part of what leads to his whole, dilemma in this movie where he's mutating and all the other stuff. And like, we see that. And I think that's what lends itself to it because he is not. And at the end of the movie, when he has that moment where he's like, I'm both, when he's fighting the Hand, that he finally accepts that he can still be both Spider-Man and Peter Parker by the end of this.
And as you say this, it made me realize that they symbolically played this out because he refuses to take his mask off for anyone, even Yelena. Now, Yelena's a Thunderbolt. If he works with the Thunderbolts, his stuff is going to be protected like anyone else, right? He gets down to his skivvies to get in the bath with her to have that meeting, won't take his mask off. When he first meets the Punisher, won't take his mask off. When does his mask get removed in front of people? When his humanity comes in to save Jean Grey, right? And the Punisher removes it, but then stands guard to make sure no one fucks with him or knows his secret. So that is, and then after that, he is then Peter and Spider-Man because he's finally been able to take the mask off. It's not that he didn't want to reveal himself to people. The mask was him up until that moment, like symbolically.
Yeah, honestly, also kind of like what we've seen in a lot of stories with Batman. When Bruce Wayne is the mask.
Yes.
And Batman is the actual, like in this movie, you could say that Spider-Man is the actual person. And then Peter Parker is kind of like, he doesn't even use Peter Parker as a cover.
There is no Peter Parker. Like, maybe Peter Parker's the name on the lease of the apartment he's living in, but that's about it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, so someone doesn't like say, oh, why are you going to do your laundry and stuff like that? And he can go ahead and like remove, it would be weird if he was doing it like that. So,
but really interesting too is his whole thing of doing this is don't put people in danger, and even in shutting out Peter Parker completely from his life, he cannot protect MJ and Ned, even if they don't know who they are, because that is what happens, right? Like Jean Grey does start to go after them because she needs to get at Peter.
Yeah. Jada also had an interesting comment here, following up what Tim said. That terrified swinging with him is what made me realize the first time it happened that it wasn't MJ. So when Jean takes over MJ and like goes on that swinging thing, I could be wrong, but I know she wasn't freaking out and immediately that it was someone else. And then thought it was Jean and not MJ. She freaked out when he took her to see Punisher. So yeah, that's a good catch.
That's a great catch. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I also think pretty cool, like where we got with the organic webs versus now ditching because remember, that was a point of contention at one point for a lot of fans of web shooters versus organic webs. People used to get Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man shit for not having web shooters, and they gave kudos to Holland and Andrew Garfield for having web shooters. But now we've had web shooter Spider-Man, but then now organic web Spider-Man as well. Tim, does it matter? Does it not matter? Personally, for me, I don't give a shit less right now because we've gotten him with the web shooters, and now we've kind of got him evolving.
I don't care either way. Like that's not something it's going to make me crazy. Yeah. But if I had to prefer something, I prefer web shooters, just because it adds to how smart Peter Parker is, how he made this himself as a kid in a lab somewhere, and he designed these things, and I especially love like the web shooters in this one where they have more than one function,
The web
as we saw
grenade.
with the
Yeah.
with the tag. Yeah, love that shit. I
Mhm.
love the fact that he has to change midair. He does all kinds of crazy tricks with them. I love that shit. So I prefer the web shooter, but if he turned organic, whatever, I don't care. Whatever. The organic webs are probably more gross, probably more stickier.
Well, he
You
says
know.
that also.
Yeah. So I mean, that's probably funny. But let me bring up one thing real quick about Peter again. And again, this is the anal part of me watching the movies on how messed up he really is. When Peter Parker gets erased from everybody's memory, where did like he that guy has no money. He has nothing. He has I mean, he can't show up to be like, oh, I'm here for May Parker's benefits. Who are you? I'm her nephew. No, you're not. Like you,
Yeah.
there's no money.
Well,
He doesn't get the house. He doesn't get any insurance. Nothing. The guy walked away with zero, nothing, and he had to get an apartment and he had to get clothes and like I think about the little things like that on how really screwed up that has to make you that no one knows who you are. You have nothing to begin with, and that's to me that's like why he's so great.
Well, I also think to follow up on what you just mentioned. So I guess for this Spider-Man though, we've seen him invent it as a kid. We've
Yeah.
seen him build the web shooter, so he kind of gets kudos for that already.
Mhm.
But now moving on to have his organic webs and stuff, I'm fine with it because I never knocked Toby for having organic webs anyway. It was whatever. But I do kind of like the fact that we get both in this
Yeah.
one of Spider-Man. So that's pretty cool. Plus, also a little detail in the web shooting. And again, this is something I've noticed from the comics that was a pretty cool thing was at the end when he's fighting the hand and he uses the web shooters and then they get nullified because they have a weapon to go against every little thing as a contingency plan. When he switches over to organic webs, this is definitely super Spider-Man nerdy here, but the way at the end of the webs, the way it kind of grabs almost like a hand in a way, is how it is in the comics.
Oh, that's cool.
There, so that was actually pretty sick. That we got that in there too.
Now that we've gotten back to that point, I just wanted to make a point about it. Like, I liked the fact that part of this movie, because I'm more of a web shooter guy myself, only because the things that Tim said about like the stuff you could do, and I play the video game, and you could do a whole bunch of stuff with the web shooters in the video game, like lots of crazy stuff. But I don't care about the organic as long as it makes sense to me and it is a reason. And this made sense to me, and the reason it made sense, but the reason it clicked to me was this scene where he tries to use the web shooters and they nullify it. Because the whole movie he's trying to fight the changes.
Yeah.
Right? And the changes are his body kind of going, nah, dude, you can't live like this. You gotta adapt. And he's fighting it. But it's at that moment he realizes, you know what? And I think he even says, hey, Andrew, the other Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire had these. They were gross, but that's okay.
Yeah,
he said something like that, but he has that moment where he's like, you know what? They could fuck with my web shooters. Fuck that.
Yeah.
And then he trusts himself and he leans into the change that he's going through as opposed to fighting it. I think that really works symbolically. So that's why I'm okay with the transfer to it. Although again, I never gave a shit that Tobey Maguire had the thing. It doesn't matter one way or the other to me. But if they're going to switch from one to the other consciously, I needed it to be for a reason, and I felt this was a good reason.
Yeah. Actually, Jay, a funny thing is, I know you guys don't play the video game. Jason does. I own the first game. Oh, do you? Okay, so two of the three. I own the first game. I just never really played it too much. So you platinumed it.
I platinumed it. That was what I did when my son was born. I would stay up all night when he was an infant. I'd let my wife sleep there at night, and then I'd sleep during the day. And I'd sit up with him in case he got up and he needed anything. And I would just play Spider-Man. And so I wound up fucking platinuming it because what else would I have to do besides feed my kid?
Dude, I would just literally go up to the top of Avengers Tower and dive off just so I could swing. I think I spent one day I spent a half hour just swinging around Manhattan. I was like, this is great. This is fucking fun, man. I don't have to fight any crime. I'm just swinging through the city. I love it.
And guys, the second one lets you go to Queens.
Yes.
Nice.
I tried to find our houses, but it didn't work.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't find mine either.
Yeah, the Spider-Man videos, that's funny. Yeah, I do own the first Insomniac game. I have not admittedly played it very much just because the video, like not having time for video games, but I did play Spider-Man versus the Kingpin on Sega CD. I did play Spider-Man versus X-Men Arcade's Revenge. I played the arcade one, the 1991 one. Then I got to play again in Houston actually last year.
Oh, good. Did you really?
Yes, I did actually, and it was awesome to see that. You got to randomly pick. You got to pick 4 characters: Spider-Man, Submariner, Hawkeye, or shit. Who the hell was the other one? Fuck, I can't remember who the hell the 4th one was. It was really random, but it was just really 4 random characters. So I'm like, this is
okay.
It was a pretty.
Was it Vision? Hawkeye, Vision?
Might have been Vision. Yeah, it might have been Vision, and I don't know what the hell Submariner is doing in it, but whatever.
Who knows?
It was really random. Yeah, so I don't know, and just the way he fight. I'm trying to think. There was a couple of moments, Tim, where I kind of felt what you were talking about with Peter Parker's heartbreak when he sees MJ kiss the boyfriend, and they cut to him.
Oh,
it was like gut punch. Wham!
Yeah,
and that's what gets him out of there, and it kind of causes the whole thing where he's swinging around town and stuff like that, and trying to like just get out of there. And then, obviously, wakes up in a fucking cocoon the next day.
And
you know, when you think about, go ahead, Jason, go ahead.
No, go ahead, because I'm going to go on about a bit of a tangent. So go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, because Spider-Man is how do I put this without sounding like an asshole? Spider-Man is boys. Shit, I can't put it the right way. Like our soap opera, like our teen show.
Yeah,
the way girls identify with their shit. Yeah. Spider-Man is our thing. So like when you see him and MJ, even though I'm a fucking old man now, but even when you see him see MJ kiss that guy, you're like, oh my god, that's my friend Peter. Like what the hell's going on? You know what I mean? Yeah. You feel what that dude feels because, like you said, there hasn't been another realistic superhero like that where he has shit going on in his life that we've all dealt with. I've dealt with the same thing. I remember seeing a girl kiss somebody like, oh god damn it, that hurts. I'm leaving. But unfortunately, I couldn't go run across the building and swing. I had to run out like an idiot. So, but I'm just saying he's the boy. I don't know. I still can't put it in the right way.
Well, I think
he's our avatar. He's our entry point. Like when you're a teenage boy. And you're not the popular fucking jock or whatever, and you're kind of awkward. And I think most of us are that, right? That he's your entry point because, this would be my life if I had superpowers. It wouldn't be any better. I wouldn't be getting the girls. I'd still have heartbreak, but I would just be a bit more powerful. Like I get with you. I get what you're saying. He is our entry point. He is the audience.
Yeah, well, exactly. Like we were saying, he is the most relatable superhero that a lot of people like that has been on screen, and I think that's why a lot of people love him. And again, the best Spider-Man stories or Peter Parker stories in the comics are ones when he's being put through shit because Marvel and its writers love to torture and see how far they can push Peter Parker, to no end. Like the shit that's gone down, it's not even anywhere near the movies, is insane. They love torturing Peter Parker. And it makes for some of the best Spider-Man stories, that are there. And also, I think it speaks to the establishment of this series. We know what Peters gave up in the last movie, and we know his journey here. We know what he just lost, and we know they've well established what MJ and Ned mean to him. So when we see this and we're going through this with him, they've set it up, and I think that also is why we feel the way we feel watching them go through this.
Yeah, I agree. And what I wanted to touch on before was I really feel this is my favorite MJ in the movies, right? And Tim, I know that you and I make jokes about this all the time about the Mary Jane Watson and the Tobey Maguire stuff, where she's the real fucking villain, right? But this MJ is she's like, look, I read your note and thanks. I don't love you, but that's human, right? But then what's the next thing she does? She goes, hey, you look like you need some company. You want to come up and see Ned?
Yeah.
And she provides him with this moment where he gets to reconnect with not just her, but she is there, but his best friends. And he gets that moment, and she provides that for him when she very easily could have pulled a Mary Jane Watson from from Tobey Maguire and be like, you know what? Watch me sleep with your friend now, or something fucking horrible, right? So I really do love this MJ in this because
Yeah.
she is, even when she's not. It would be unreasonable to expect her to go, okay, now I'm in love with you again, right? That's unreasonable. That's not human. It's not unreasonable to go, well, now that I know this, I might not love you or know you, but clearly you're a person hurting and I want to help you. And that's what I loved about that moment. And that's what I really like about this MJ.
And I think it's a good segue. Tim, you saw Obsession, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you know where I'm going to go. So
Yeah.
that's all right. So your mind went there too when watching that scene, because that scene where Jean took over MJ, right? And they go for their swinging, and then they have the moment on the rooftop, and then there's, she kisses him, he kisses her back, and they have their moment. And then he finds out that, what's going on here, and that she was being she was being manipulated by. And the way kind of Jean throws it in his face, like you knew it the whole time, but yet you still went along with it and stuff. Jason, that's very kind of like a moment in Obsession that happens with this. That's why Tim and I, who saw that, we kind of went there too. But the biggest difference, though, here is that in Obsession, that dude went ahead and knew it. Once he found out what was going on, he kept going. Peter was appalled by it and went back and later on, when she was out of it towards the end of the movie, mentions it and never had to do that.
No, I love that. He says, I need you to know.
Yes.
That way, because I did want to bring this up too, because I love this moment. Because it's a moment of just, it's not like, there's no taking advantage of someone, right? He's like, no, I need you to know, when she was in your body, she kissed me. I thought it was you, I kissed her back. When I realized it wasn't, I stopped. I'm sorry, you needed to know that. Yeah. That was a great moment, because, that would be fucking weird, wouldn't it? If someone took your body over and you're kissing people you don't fucking know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like Wonder Woman 84.
No.
Stop.
No.
Stop.
No. And you should take a 5-minute timeout for that reference.
Listen, Tim, that's a part of our history. That was our first episode. We can never ignore it.
Unfortunately, it is our heritage.
Quick side note. I showed Jack's Obsession this weekend. He was here. And we watched a bunch of movies, and I showed him a bunch of movies, but Obsession was one of them. And I said, this is a metaphor for life. He's like, what do you mean? I said, all fucking women are crazy, but a man will still try to sleep with her because we're disgusting. He goes, oh, yeah. I said, no matter how crazy this chick is, he still bagged her. And I was like, wow, this is life.
But it's the whole thing with that. And Jason, I know you want to see it one day, but that's why I don't want to.
I do want to see it.
Yeah, I'm trying to dance around certain things, but
you want to go use the rest of this? You make some spoilers.
We're not going to sidetrack into Obsession here, but that was the big thing with this moment and that, because even like Boss Logic did a poster of Spider-Man in the dark, kind of like looking. It was like an Obsession poster, but the huge difference is, again, Peter sees it, acknowledges it, is mortified by it, and feels the need later on to bring it up and do the right thing. Then, this dude, whole nother story, without spoiling anything with that movie, but it's messed up.
That's why Spider-Man is better than all of us.
Exactly.
Good man.
So also, I think a lot of a couple of things I want to bring up on, Spider-Man here is, him fighting with the Rogues Gallery and the comic book covers that were acknowledged in it. Like, there's a classic one when it's Boomerang. There's one with Nimrod there. There's one with Tombstone. And also Amazing Fantasy 15 when he saves this guy in the beginning of the movie. And each one is slowed down beautifully to make sure you get that image there. So it's like you kind of got what they were going for, and that was the nod. I thought that was also incredible. Like, in a great way to, like, do that. And that's the thing. Like, this movie also feels like there's a lot of love for the character of Spider-Man throughout this entire movie. And also, his shit talking that he does during this in some of these fights was also pure. We've seen that from Tom Holland's Spider-Man as well. But, like, a lot of it, especially the stretching thing at the end.
Yeah.
When he's going ahead and he's going to fight them, and he takes a minute to stretch. He's like, "Yeah, I'm not in high school
Yeah.
anymore.
Oh,
I have to do this whole thing," and then he just takes them out like that.
so funny. You guys ever stretch? Yeah, that was a great moment.
Big stretcher, and it's really good for you, and all of this other stuff. It's great. All right. So we talked about MJ a lot. We talked about Spider-Man. We didn't talk about Ned too much, but like Ned also has some pretty cool moments there. And it was also moments that were I found to be like heartwarming too. Like especially when Peter first goes into the apartment and he sees the little Chewbacca Lego piece that's still there, and it takes you back to Homecoming immediately. I thought that was cool, and he smiles about it too, and everything.
And I do love Ned's quest because Ned's quest makes sense. We must know Spider-Man. He keeps saving us. If we don't know, why the fuck was Spider-Man in Europe when we were in Europe? Why the fuck was Spider-Man here when we were here? Why was he in Washington when we were in and that's Ned's thing, because you're right. If you take away the fact that you don't know who Peter Parker is and you just know Spider-Man, why is Spider-Man up my ass?
Yeah.
Why is he always where I am? I must know this guy.
Yeah, and it makes a lot of sense. And him putting together the whole Spidey tracker and everything like that, I thought was really cool. We'll talk about the post-credit scene when we get to that too, because that is definitely connected to this.
For sure.
But I loved a lot of the stuff with Ned in it. He's not in like a crazy amount, but the parts that he's in it are pretty cool. That he's there, and he's a wonderful character.
He's a lovable character. Although it just dawned on me, the reason we don't see Ned a lot is because we have the Punisher. Because the Punisher is the new Ned. That's Spider-Man's Ned.
And that moment at the end when they do the handshake, I thought was a nice way to like put that whole thing and kind of like
right.
He remembers it like involuntarily. That was
is that what you think? Is that what you think it was? Like he just remembers it involuntarily? Do you think he's gonna start remembering, or like? Do you think? Because I don't know. Like I was thinking, did Jean Grey kind of like was that her thank you parting gift? I won't let MJ remember who you are, but Ned, you need a friend.
I kind of think it was like a deja vu moment. That's the way I took it. That he kind of remembers it kind of like deja vu. I don't want Jean undoing any of the spell, to be honest. I don't know. That part I don't want. I interpreted it as it was like a deja vu involuntary thing that he remembered. And that's kind of what I want. I don't want them to walk back the spell at all. I kind of want that just to be there, and that's it. And guess what? He gets to build a new friendship with Ned from here on. Like him and Ned could be friends. I mean, it seems like they would get together and they would get along and everything like that. So why not? That's
true.
Yeah, that's the way. Yeah, the spell never said you can't establish a new relationship with them.
Oh no, it never did. And I think that was the point of the letter.
Yes.
And I think that's why he fucks up, because he doesn't. If he went to him at first and said, "Look, this is the truth. Weird shit goes down. Just think about it. Let's try to reconnect right away." It would have been a different story. He waited years. That's why MJ's like, "No, I don't know you.
Yeah,
you never gave me the chance to know you." So, yeah. So nothing ever said you could not establish a new friendship and start again. You're right.
Mm-hmm. Tim, what did you think about that? Do you think it has something to do? You think it's being walked back a little bit, or do you think it's just involuntarily and that's it?
Oh, I'm glad that like MJ didn't one movie, boom, she remembers everything happy and happy ending. I am very glad with that. She shouldn't figure it out right away. But I don't mind if Ned remembered. I don't mind if something just snapped into Ned's brain, because they were best friends longer than him and MJ were together.
Agreed.
So that kind of best friend thing where, and he's the guy in the chair, and they've been through everything together, and I'm probably maybe I'm in the minority, but I hope Ned did completely remember at the end. I think I'd prefer it that way.
But I agree with you, just Ned. Like I don't want to walk back and reverse.
Yeah, Ned.
I don't want all of a sudden like now I could be with MJ because she'll remember, but I just because I like them together so much, I think I'm with you on that one. Like I kind of want Ned to at least go, Peter, like, oh wait, I think I do remember it. Like I don't know, I'm with you on that, Tim.
I think I'm still gonna stand with I want him and Ned to build a new friendship from here on out. But I also think that when MJ mentions it to him, to Peter, right, or whatever, says, "Hey, listen, you can tell him. I think he can handle it." So I can see Peter telling him all of this, and Peter and Ned just like, "Wow, that's a crazy ass story," and I believe you. And again, we can kind of still build off, start our new relationship from here. But he'll know what happened, but he won't fully get all his memories back from it. That's kind of what I want. So
Okay, and I'm okay with that too.
yeah, I think they can go from there.
I just want them friends again.
I think we're getting that, but I think it's in the way that they're not walking it back at all. I think they just become friends again from here now, which is also fun. And Jada mentioning the irony that Yelena calls him sad boy after what she was going through with Thunderbolts. Yeah, there's definitely a bit of an irony there.
Sad, no sad, I guess.
Yeah, right. It's true. I guess the other characters we can get into here, we could start with Yelena too. She's got a small, a couple of scenes in there, but I thought she was pretty awesome. She's a great character, I think, in general. And I like the way that they're using her to pop in and pop there. She's in Hawkeye, obviously she got front and center in Thunderbolts, and we get some Yelena in here too.
Yeah, she's kind of becoming the the Nick Fury, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Like, she was in it for 2 scenes. I thought, I thought they were fine scenes. They didn't detract from anything. Again, I think it really furthers. It did add, and again, I think it really adds to Peter Parker, right? Like what I said before, take his whole suit off and get naked in front of her. Not as mask. And so
I knew it was going to happen, and I was laughing before he even came out of that thing.
Oh, of course. But I think that is important to what he's going through. So I think that's why it's there. And and you got to see her. She's she is one of the new Avengers, right? So I was completely fine. I liked her.
And I'm also glad that she mentions the new Avengers, and we're not walking any of that back. And that's still a thing that's going on here because we're going to see them in Doomsday in December as well. And Tim, we had mentioned we get Frank Castle Punisher in this one, and I think that's a nice way to go from here. You had mentioned, I guess I can't argue that this is definitely PG-13 Punisher, but I personally like the fact that we do still get him. They don't change the character though, because when MJ asked him about his family, he instantly does go right back into, I got my rules in here, like, don't ask me about that and all this other shit, like, what do you know about me? Even when Peter mentions to him that kind of like you, like, he's like, what do you know about me? Like, he kind of does snap right back into that without being a complete, asshole about it. But you can still see, like, that's still there. But we also get him smiling at certain points, which it's not like he never smiled during the series at any point ever. But mostly, he's doing what he's doing.
But I also think the point of Frank Castle being in this movie isn't just to show that Peter isn't alone. He's kind of made his own family, in the superhero community, because that is part of it, right? I mean, I'm not kidding when I say that that's his Ned now. But I think part of it is to show that Frank Castle has become more amenable to it. I think part of it is Frank Castle has changed too. Like, Peter Parker has changed, but Frank Castle, because last time we saw Frank Castle was with, like, Ma knew she fucked him over and he killed 100 people in a building, right? It's the last time we saw the Punisher. And it was brutal. But now he's been doing it for a bit more. He's kind of, tagging along. He's getting in with Spider-Man. I think he's also changing, being on the front line, meeting other people. I think that's the point and I think that's supposed to be the point, because that's the line, right? This is the line I'll remember from it. When Peter says to him, no, Frank, I'm like you. And he goes, no, this isn't a choice. This is a sentence.
Yeah, he goes, this isn't a lifestyle and all of that. Yeah.
Right. And this is what I'm forced to do. And I think so. Part of this is also Frank Castle changing and becoming a bit more human through his interaction with Peter. And I think that's why he might be a bit more mellow. Now, also the PG-13 of it, but I don't think it comes out of nowhere, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Tim, like, is there more, like, what else did you think with Punisher in this?
Yeah, well, it's kind of like Smart Hulk, Savage Hulk. Enough with Smart Hulk already. I'm glad Savage Hulk is back. But the same with the Punisher. I don't want him to be better. I don't want him to be good. I don't want him to be that way. His character should be angry. I will kill first, ask questions later. That's the character. That's the character I love. Um, it's funny because the one major problem that I had with the movie was the fact that the Punisher carried him into the hospital. Not that he carried him into the hospital, that he stayed in the hospital with him. That would never happen. He's an outlaw. The cops are trying to catch him. He's a vigilante. I'm like, he would never be allowed to sit there with Spider-Man in the hospital. But again, you let certain things go. I had to let that go. But that's the one minor thing that I had with the movie was that Punisher's not going to sit there and I mean, even in Civil War in the comic, they were like, "Oh, I brought this guy back." They're like,
Oh no, he
"You're
was
the
crazy.
fuck, you're the Punisher. We're gonna kill you." It's like, whoa, 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 whoa! I just brought this guy back. I'm a good guy. No, you're not a good guy. You're a bad guy. That's one thing
I didn't like about it. But like I said, Bernthal makes up for it with the chemistry with Holland. They are great together, so I will let it slide. I won't let it bother me very much. But yeah, that is the one major issue I have with the entire movie, actually.
So the only reason I'm gonna somewhat push back on it with this, and just throwing this out there, just so you guys to think about it. I'm gonna throw it out there. Talk amongst yourselves, okay?
If I don't like it, I'm throwing it back.
The coffee
So,
talk. No, I think that in that moment where, and which by the way, also two moments that I caught, and one of them is on our wallpaper here with the first appearance of the Punisher shooting Spider-Man.
Yes.
For me, again, because he literally shoots Spider-Man at the end of this fucking movie. Granted, it's by accident in this. I think him also bringing him into the hospital after that was also kind of also an imagery of Civil War when he's carrying Spider-Man after he's in that situation. He's beaten to death and almost murdered by Tony Stark's, bots and everything like that. But in this situation, though, I think the love that Spider-Man gets from the city, and also I think it lines up where MCU New York City is, because this takes place after the events of Daredevil Born Again. So the whole anti-vigilante task force was just wiped away. The city just got rid of that. Masked heroes are viewed a little bit differently here. Yes, I'm not saying Frank Castle gets a get out of jail free card then with all of that, but I do think it's more of a favor in a way to Spider-Man to let someone stay with him while he's there on his deathbed, essentially. And Jean is breathing for him to keep him alive as well. I kind of thought back to the scene in Spider-Man 2 where all those people on the train saw Peter Parker's face and nobody said a word about it and that was his concern. That's kind of the way I interpreted this scene, where I was just kind of like, all right, we're going to kind of like let some of this. A couple of people one or two people may have seen something, and they were like, for Spider-Man, we're going to kind of like let this go to make sure he even lives and gets out of this alive. That's the way I took it.
All I needed was one, like it could be one little line especially by the female cop who was basically Peter's best friend, which we never talked about. If she would have said one, like if a cop would have said, hey boss, how are we not, arresting the Punisher? How are we not going in there? And she like made a thing of like, look, he brought Spider-Man in, let him go for now. Let it.
Fair.
Then boom, I'll shut my fucking mouth. I don't care about the whole scene. But the fact that he is a notorious murderer, he don't arrest you, he kills you. Well, I just think there should have been at least a line. Like maybe the female cop said, let it go. This is the Punisher.
Yeah.
Let it go for now. We'll figure it out later. But right now, he brought Spider-Man back. He saved Spider-Man's life. We're gonna let this happen. Shut up and stay behind the line, and we'll deal with it later. Then I would have been fine with it.
So would you have been okay with this? Because I did see something about this too. I just didn't see if it was confirmed that Rosario Dawson's night nurse was supposed to be in this movie as a cameo. And I'm guessing this is where she would have fit in.
I think that would have been personally. I think that would have made it different. But Tim, what do you think?
Yeah, that would have been cool because she knows Frank, so she would have been like, "Oh,
yeah.
You can stay here, but keep a low profile or something like that." Or, I have no problem with him bringing him to the hospital. Who's going to stop him from bringing the Spider-Man? It's just the fact that he got to sit there and sleep in the room with him. I was like, that's a little weird. But then again, if the female cop would have said, she would have said, "Listen, stand down. We're not going in there. This is about Spider-Man. Not about we'll get the Punisher. We'll deal with the Punisher later. Right now, you let it go. Boom. I had no problem with the scene then. I had zero problem with the whole scene.
And I think what Tim needed was just one line of someone saying, "That members only jacket is winterproof, right?"
Yeah,
Exactly. That's all. That's all we needed.
That's all we needed.
I'm like, fine. It's okay. Then I know why Clark Kent's not dead right now.
Exactly. And then he knows why the Punisher could stay there. Just that one line.
Yeah. But I really did I thought they did a lot of smart things with the Punisher. I didn't feel like he was really neutered, to be completely honest. I mean, sure, is he shooting people point blank in the head or anything like that? No, but to follow up what Jason was saying is the end of Punisher One Last Kill, I think, was Frank starting to kind of realize that maybe he can be a hero. And I think that was like viewing himself a little bit differently towards the end of that. And it kind of does lead into this of where we catch up with Frank now. Not that he's ever going to be a full-on superhero, if you want to kind of like use the term for him. He'll always be like a vigilante in that sense. But again, he's a darker one, but I do think he's more amenable to working with a Spider-Man. Granted, I would love to see what happened in Staten Island. That is what I would really love to see.
That's the next one shot I want.
Yes, that's what I want. Marvel special presentation.
That's the new
Staten
Budapest.
Island.
The new Budapest is Staten Island.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Spider-Man, Punisher, Staten Island. That could be the next Marvel presentation. And that whole running gag, even when MJ uses it, that had me cracking up every single time.
That was good.
Yeah. So, yeah, they're pretty awesome. He's pretty awesome in this, and I think it makes sense. So, Hulk. One thing I really noticed on the second viewing of this, number one, I do think he's used very well in this movie, and he adds to the story, and it makes sense that Peter Parker would reach out to Bruce Banner, who was a teacher at the time, and for advice on this, and what he was dealing with the inhibitor and all of that makes perfect sense and helps to point Peter in the right direction to build the inhibitor, which I do want to talk about the inhibitor more in a little bit once we have to talk to this. I do think there may be massive ramifications for that moving forward.
Oh, no. I think that and damage control are going to be a big part of the X-Men stuff coming up. But we'll get into that.
Yeah, absolutely. Tim, I also loved seeing Savage Hulk return, but I also think it's one thing I noticed visually is when he turns into the Hulk, when he looks like Smart Hulk, when he's being controlled by Jean, and then later on when he's not being controlled by Jean, and he just naturally turns into the Hulk, two totally different looks.
Oh, yeah.
Completely. And we get like more raging Savage Hulk after when he loses it. And I thought that was fucking incredible that they differentiated the two there. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I loved it too. I was very excited when Gene first took him over. I was like, why is he still Smart Hulk? And then I kind of figured it out. I was like, oh, he's gonna snap. And I thought that was, I said they did it brilliantly. That's the exact what I wanted to see. I wanted to see Bruce Wayne saying, wait a minute, something's not right. I feel it in my head. There's something wrong. And he's like, what? The other guy's coming. And it's like, whoa. This fuck shit's about to get real. Yeah. I said, and he had his transformation kind of stop and say, hey, this is just where the Smart Hulk is. But no, he just fucking kept going. And he got bigger. And Peter's best line was, I didn't know you can get that big.
Yeah.
And then you actually see them facing each other. You're like, wow, he is so much bigger than Spider-Man. It's fantastic. I absolutely love. Obviously, my favorite scene in the whole movie was that part. So I loved it. I thought they did it perfectly.
And also, I think it shows how strong Spider-Man is, by the way, because he takes some shots from the Hulk.
Yeah,
he takes a beating. Yeah,
and it's not like he's like dead from this. He is like going toe to toe there. So I think it also lends to how strong Spider-Man is in this whole thing.
Which I think people who are more casual fans, when he goes for that scanner at damage control and they list his abilities, I thought that was brilliant. Because I think some people might not be like, well, he's strong. No. He's fucking super strong. Yeah. He's super agile. People I don't think realize how strong he is, or how this, he can pick up a car if he really puts his mind to it, if he
Oh,
wants to.
easily.
Yeah, so I'm
I
saying,
mean,
so that one little scene in Damage Control, I thought, I was like, this is fucking brilliant that they're showing this, because it's a little scene. It might not mean anything to some people, but to me, it's like they're showing you he's changing now. He's becoming, like you said, he's becoming Spider-Man, not Spider-Boy.
Yeah.
So super strength, super agility, super senses, and now the little arachnid thing they got going on in there. So you're not dealing with a kid in a suit anymore.
Spider-Man pulls his punches a lot when he's fighting.
Yeah.
When he's fighting regular people. No, there's no question about that. Like that's been established through comics like for many years. But you're right. The casual fan who only sees the movies and stuff might not really know that and just think he's just kind of like a superhuman for an extent, and that's it. Jason, you had something there because I know you would jump in.
oh no. I think I'm okay. Yeah, no, I had nothing for that.
Okay. All right, and then I guess then we talk about Jean Grey in this. A lot of people talking about how after some of the things she does in this movie, how can she become an X-Man, a hero, and stuff like she's irredeemable. I don't think so. I also think this is a Jean Grey that hasn't met Charles Xavier yet.
Yeah. So this one I will touch on because this is my issue with the movie. I don't think anything she does makes her irredeemable for the X-Men. I think that's the fucking point of the X-Men. Now, I don't necessarily like it as Jean Grey specifically. I'm a big X-Men fan.
Mm-hmm.
And so, keep that in mind. But having said that, if I'm divorcing the comic and I'm just looking at what I know about what the X-Men is and what Jean Grey does in this movie, no, I don't think it means she can't join the X-Men. I actually think this is going to be the reason. I think we see her going away and we all assume she's going to see Charles Xavier. I definitely think we're going to get a scene in X-Men where whoever's playing Professor X hears about this. Like, this is how she gets recruited, right? Because this is what the X-Men do. So
Yep.
I actually think it is a good setup to get her recruited to the X-Men.
Yeah, agreed. 100% agreed.
Yeah, I just didn't like it at the expense of the Spider-Man villains, but I don't think anything she does, and I think they do a good enough job to explain her motivations to the audience. That's why Spider-Man is won over. See, she's not the villain; she was manipulated, this and that. And I think that's gonna play in. And what Damage Control was doing was illegally abducting mutants and torturing them to get their secrets and powers. Like, of course, that's going to make you break, right? Like, and that's the whole point. We talk about this with X-Men, right? When people are coming after you and your kind, you got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? Because you're the bad guy no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the thing with Jean Grey is, I think the way she came out, yeah, I wasn't crazy about it, but I in what I think they're setting up and in what I know about the character and X-Men, I don't think any of it goes against what they're setting up with X-Men. I don't think there is too much to get into the X-Men unless you've murdered people.
Yeah, I mean, Logan gets recruited into the X-Men. A lot of the X-Men, they're not exactly like all perfect before they're not all Nightcrawler and Colossus before they show up, and at Charles Xavier's door. Right. But yeah, at the end of this movie, I definitely think that's where she's headed, is to Westchester, like to maybe go ahead and to consult in this school, and stuff like that. And maybe that's the introduction, which would be fucking great if that's where they're going with her next.
Yeah, I think the next scene with her is she's not in Westchester and she's being recruited because Professor X gets wind of what she did down in New York.
Yeah. Okay. Tim, anything? You got anything on Jean Grey?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with what you're saying. But yeah, as far as X-Men getting recruited, yeah, they're not all choir boys and choir girls. I mean, their powers don't manifest until something horrible happens to them in their teenage years. That's how usually most of them get their powers. Something horrible happens.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're all Boy Scouts and all just good people. No, a lot of them do messed up shit before they go and end up with Charles. But yeah, this is the scene I wanted. But I gotta understand that they haven't casted Charles yet. I'm sure that maybe they have, maybe they haven't. We don't know. But this is the scene that I was hoping this would be the other scene of her getting on the bus, like kind of like looking around, and like she's hearing voices now, and her getting on the bus, and then getting up the bus, and then her getting off the bus in Westchester. That's all I needed. I would have been, fuck yeah, that's right, because Charles, talked to her and told her, come here. This is where you come. This is where you're going to be safe. This is where I'm going to, help you. That would have been the fucking cool ass scene. I thought we were going to get that as as a deleted scene.
That's right.
But I liked her in this movie. I said I am a big fan of Sadie Sink. I like her a lot in
really
Stranger Things. She's really good. Her transition from angry to sad teenager, or how old she's supposed to be in the movie, was really good. And no, I liked her.
Yeah, and by the way, for those who might not be aware, she does have a sister in the comics, who also she ends up resurrecting when she gets the Phoenix Force, and doing that. So they may or may not follow that down the line. But the point is, like, the sister wasn't just pulled out of thin air for the movie, and just to give her some motivation.
I didn't know that.
What she's doing. Yeah. Oh, actually, is even a voiceover with someone who hasn't casting Jean would have been dope. Yeah, I agree. I mean, also, we did get a voiceover at the end of Eternals with somebody who's not going to be playing Blade anymore, which we found out over the weekend as well, which kind of sucks. But
why have you brought up Eternals and Wonder Woman 1984 in the same podcast? Why?
Connect all the dots. Well, everything's connected, as they say.
Connect all the shit?
What the fuck? This guy. Dude, go see that and go message me. I want to hear. I'm very fascinated to hear your thoughts on Eternals, Jada. I'm kind of surprised you just glossed over this. He does shock me at times with some of the stuff he glosses over. I know he's all in like we are, so that's why.
Jada, I'm gonna say you live with that scene.
No, I genuinely want to. It's only MCU. No, I genuinely want to hear what it is, because that was a really interesting conversation. We talked about that, because I remember the first time I saw Eternals, and Tim, I saw you. I think I saw it with you and Jax, and we were like, it was quiet afterwards, and I remember us being like, "So what'd you think of it?" And it was such a different MCU movie at that time. Like, it was like nothing we really had ever seen from them yet, and I really didn't know what to say. I wasn't sure. And then when I saw it again, I'm kind of like, all right, I can dig some of this. Not over the moon, like, oh my God, this is great. But I warmed up to it. But I also haven't watched it in a while, so I'd be curious to sit down and rewatch it again, since it's been years now since I've seen it. I haven't gone back to rewatching it a lot. So whether that tells you what I thought of it or not, but
that's how I know. Sorry, go ahead, Tim.
No, go ahead, Jason. Go.
That's how I know that when I don't like a movie, because I saw it and I went, all right, that was a spectacle. I'm a sucker for a spectacle, right? Like, if you asked me 5 minutes after that movie, I probably would have been, yeah, no, I liked stuff about it. But then as the time went on, I went, oh, what do I want to rewatch? Should I rewatch The Eternals? And my reaction was, oh God, no, why would I do that? And that's when I realized, no, I don't think I like that movie. I like parts of that movie, but I don't want to rewatch it again.
I've probably seen it like 5 times, I think, overall.
I saw it
twice in the theater.
Done.
I saw it twice in the theater because I felt like I needed to see it again. Well, actually, Angie didn't go with us the first time, so I also wanted to, I went with her to go see it. And
I slept through it. I fell asleep in the theater.
Yeah, but dude, you were falling asleep at that time, though. You had to think.
No, but not a Marvel movie though. Certain movies I'll pass right out. A Marvel movie, never. That is the only one. I stayed awake for both Captain Marvels. So I mean, come on.
Captain Marvel. The Marvels, not as much, but
yeah.
So do I. Stop.
Eternals and Captain Marvel's at the bottom of my list.
Oh, we can the list. The list we can get to the list one day, because they haven't really ever done the list quite yet.
No, we got it. Have you seen Thor: The Dark World, Tim? Really? Thor: The Dark World exists.
That's at the bottom. I'm not saying that's at the top. That's at the bottom too.
All right, because I was just saying, if those are your bottom 3, I could see the Marvels being in the bottom. I thought it was fun, but I could see it being at the bottom.
It's a bottom,
but like, it is a bottom tier Marvel movie. But
we're talking about a lot of movies now. There's a lot.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
I think when we actually do the ranking, we're gonna need a whole episode just dedicated to doing the ranking at this point.
Yeah, no, I fully agree with that because when we were on Sportsmanlike Conduct, when it somehow got, we went into like a Granny's Peach Tea thing at one point because I was asked about Doomsday out of nowhere, so it started turning into that. We did say one day we will do like a show dedicated to that. No reviews, no nothing. We literally just stick to that, and that's it.
I like it.
Would you guys say Love and Thunder or Eternals?
Love and Thunder.
I like
I'll watch Love and Thunder better because of Christian Bale,
Okay.
and well, 'cause I like Thor.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I would watch. I like Love and Thunder more than I like Thor: The Dark World. I mean,
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. Well, I remember Jada used to talk about like Thor: The Dark World was like the worst of the worst at one point, but then
yes,
yeah,
I used to say the same thing until the Eternals.
yeah, I know when they had their show, they did a 4-hour ranking. I don't know if we do I would like to. I envision it as we do we have a panel, and then we kind of all bring in our rankings and stuff, and we can kind of.
Well, yeah. What's his name? No, Steve has the software, the program. We all put them in order, give them to him, and the
Yeah.
computer fucking does it for us, to where we'll see what our rankings are as far as
okay.
like all together, and then we can talk about individually, like
Definitive, yeah.
Okay.
Oh wow. So yeah. All right. So that kind of gets where that's going there. Huh. Be interesting. Interesting to take a look. Yeah, I don't know. Love and Thunder at the time, I was kind of like, all right, that was kind of fun or whatever. But I also do feel like they went too far to the jokey side a little bit too much. And I think everyone kind of like felt the same way. I don't think I despise it as much, but
They just wasted a phenomenal villain, a phenomenal actor, and they just wasted that. That's my problem with that
Okay.
movie.
yeah, there was a lot of good things that they had opportunities to, but they just went too far to the joke side. Like Ragnarok teetered the line perfectly, and then they went too far. I think over the edge with that one.
Yep.
All right, so the post-credit scene for Brand New Day. The Spider Tracker traces Spider-Man, finds him, and then goes what appears to be off-world or somewhere else. My interpretation that this is him going to Battle World, and this is him going to Secret Wars. Okay, so
100%.
apparently there's people out there who are frustrated by this, and who, Jada and I were actually talking yesterday about what we thought it was. Tim, did you also think he's going to Battle World, or did you think is it tracking another Spider-Man maybe? Because
No, I thought Battle World too. I thought I said to Jax, I said, I think this means he's not going to be in Doomsday,
yeah,
and he's going straight to Battle World.
okay,
Yeah, that's what I figured. So we won't see Spider-Man until next year again. Yeah, so yeah, that's what I figured it was.
Because there was also something to remember that originally that Doomsday was supposed to come out before Spider-Man Brand New Day. That was originally the release schedule, and it got shifted.
Oh, okay.
So that could mean that I don't think he's going to be in Doomsday unless they decided to add in a post-credit scene or something like that. I think he's going to stay. They're going to have him stay clear of that, and I think he's obviously will be in Secret Wars. And boy, if that is when he gets the symbiote suit.
That's what I was going to bring up. Like, if you're bringing him to Battle World and you have not given us a Venom yet, I mean, this is it. You've got to give him a fucking symbiote suit in Battle World.
Yeah, that's kind of when this has to happen. Absolutely. No, there's some people who are literally frustrated, like, oh, it's stupid. It doesn't mean anything. It's a nice tease to what's coming next. The next time you're going to see this Spider-Man, at least.
Does no one remember the teaser scene or the post-credit scene for Spider-Man Homecoming about the important lesson on patience?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Remember that,
I mean,
girls.
Because I saw this and I went, okay, I get this is weird and abstract and I have to think about it. This isn't exactly what I'm used to in one of these post-credit scenes. But none of these Spider-Man movies are. That's the point. Patience, my friends. Patience. Captain America told us that.
So it's not what you thought it was, huh?
But it's
Exactly.
it's the people that don't understand what's coming next. Like Carolyn's like, what the hell does that mean? I go, after I said next year there's a movie called Secret Wars where they're all going to be flung into space on this planet and we're all going to have to fight for the. She goes, oh, that's it. That's all it took. So a lot of
Yeah.
people don't know. A lot of people don't understand what that means. Like, why is he bucking in space? Why is he doing in space? I was like, if you don't know, you don't know. Be patient till next year. You'll find out.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And it's not like you could say, I've never seen Spider-Man in space before, because we all fucking saw Infinity War.
Yes, exactly. Let's just stop. Yeah.
Nick Fury said it. Bitch, you went to space.
Exactly.
Right.
All right, so I guess while we wrap it, we kind of have to do this now. Put everyone on the spot. Spider-Man movies. Well, let's keep it to the MCU Spider-Man movies because we can maybe talk about. Well, next week we will rank when we get into the real Spider-Man. Spider-Man. What was it? How was it? The dragon?
Return of the Dragon, Spider-Man, Return of the Dragon.
Yeah, when he fights Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee, right? Like that's.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I love that one. Man, I can't wait to see Kung Fu
the
get with the
Dragon
hand.
Challenge. Spider-Man and the Dragon Challenge. We can save our definitive Spider-Man rankings for that. But for the MCU rankings, quickly, while we wrap this episode up, where are you ranking Brand New Day in the 4 MCU Spider-Man movies?
Who's going?
I will start.
I'll start.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay.
No. Go ahead.
Okay.
You jumped in. Go ahead.
I'll start.
It
is 2 or 3. It depends on my rewatch.
Okay.
Homecoming is still my favorite. I think Homecoming is not just a great Spider-Man movie. I think it's a great movie. I think it does a lot of great stuff. And I think it does a great introduction. Even though I think the Vulture is fucking perfect in that movie. Yes. I definitely think I like this more than Far From Home. I actually think I like Far From Home a lot more than most people. I love that movie. But I think this is better than that. I need the rewatch because I think this could be better than No Way Home, but I just haven't gotten there yet. And I've seen No Way Home more than once, and I think that's the key. So I'm gonna tentatively say it's second, pending a rewatch.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna say. I know I mentioned in the beginning I was like on the fence about this. I do think this and No Way Home are 1 and 2 for me. Then I would say Homecoming and then Far From Home, and that is not because I dislike Far From Home, because I don't dislike Far From Home at all.
Of course.
I just think that this movie and No Way Home give me. Again, this movie, there's so many visually. I think this movie is outstanding. I think that his interaction, again, this feels like Marvel New York, and it feels like that's a lot of the big thing for me. Visually, I think this movie is outstanding. Web swinging we talked about, Peter's journey, his quest throughout this whole thing, his character growth that he goes through this movie, his whole thing with the Punisher, even his moments that he has with Bruce Banner and the Hulk. Very different moments, but the moments he has with them are also great. His interactions with the Wolf, like there's really, I literally have no gripes about this movie. Again, like honestly, at all, I really don't. And I had none from No Way Home either. And that we got, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, which I love. I mean, that fucking movie made me like Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, who I despised going in. So that kind of tells you what real life felt. We got fucking William Dafoe back as Green Goblin and Dr. Octopus. And we got a redemption for Electro also in that movie. I mean, that movie did a lot of shit, man. It's tough. I really can't put one there. I'm just going to say they're 1 and 2. I don't know which one. Maybe if on a third watch, I decide. I don't know, but it's really hard for me to do it. But I think Homecoming also, I agree with you. Michael Keaton as Vulture is outstanding. We got Tony Stark in that. We meet all these characters. It's great. And Far From Home, I fucking loved Mysterio. I love what Jake Gyllenhaal does with Mysterio. The visual stuff that goes on in that movie, the Night Monkey stuff is hilarious. My knock towards that thing is just that I wish that was really Nick Fury and not a fucking Skrull. That's kind of one thing that, yeah.
That's the thing I didn't like about it at all, yeah. The Skrull stuff.
That I didn't love. That's my knock against that movie, but we also get like Peter learning to walk on his own without Tony being around, after the first one. So I think that's a lot of heavy lifting there. So, Tim, what do you got?
All right, now keep in mind it's like ranking your children.
Yes, I agree.
It's not like I hate any of them. It's just I'm gonna say I'll go by number. I won't say my name. There's just too many homes in there. 4.
Home trilogy.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 4.
Okay.
Yeah, and I have a huge major soft spot, so I'm gonna say 4, 1, 3, 2.
Okay.
Because again, like you both said it. My still one of my most favorite moments in the entire MCU, and it's ranked right up there with the first fucking Avenger and the circle shot, is fucking Peter that door opening up and seeing Michael Keaton standing there.
Oh,
yes.
Oh my God, that's the one that sticks with me.
Oh my God, I went, holy shit, because nobody saw that coming. Because in our minds, in our not racist minds, but in our one-way thinking minds, we had no idea that this girl could have a white father, and it was going to be Michael Keaton. So when he opened that door, and I was like, holy shit, that is one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life. And then Michael Keaton turns it on. So that one's always going to be special to me. So, but this one, the new one, is just, it's mind-blowing. It's like a complete film. So I say 4, 1, 3, 2 is my order.
Okay. Yeah. So
and Tim, I'm going to say it's that scene that puts it on 1 for me. That scene, and when he's driving him when he knows who he is, so he figures it out. Oh, those 2 scenes, that's what makes it 1 for me. Just because I'll never forget when he opens and you see Michael Keaton. My first thought wasn't, oh, that's her father. My first thought was, how the fuck did he know Spider-Man was going to be here? And it's like, oh no, it's a misdirect. He does it. Love it.
I will say that Vulture is still he is the best. Well, he is the best proper MCU Spider-Man villain. To date, right? Because the only one I could really, Mysterio was really fucking good too. Remember, he's the one who outed Peter to everyone at the end of that movie, which is really fucked up. That he does that to him. And then, man, Green Goblin killed Aunt May. But granted, that was William Dafoe, Green Goblin from another universe.
I don't count those villains. They're from other movies.
No, Jason, I that's the thing. I agree with you. That's why I'm not officially counting them. But when you just think about it for a minute, the impact that character has on this Peter Parker, even though he's from another universe,
100%,
is massive.
100%. Yes,
which is why I don't think they're like jonesing to go to introduce a new Norman Osborn, an MCU Norman Osborn right now. I think one day we will get it. But yeah, because you did what you did in that movie, and you had him interact with a Octavius and a Norman Osborn and stuff like that, is probably why they're kind of like, all right, we don't have to really go there right now. We can keep that in our back pocket for down the line, maybe when we do need them. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'll still say Vulture still holds that for me. I think he's one of the best MCU villains, period.
Yep, I agree.
So, all right. Anything else we left off? I know we wanted to talk about the Inhibitor playing a role down the line. But Jason, you mentioned it, though. We both agree that we think, because Metzer is loose at the end, and we think that's going to come back in the Mutant Saga for sure.
Yeah. Damage Control is going to become the Anti-Mutant Task Force, and the Inhibitor is going to become the thing that allows them to start putting mutants into cages or whatever. That's my prediction.
I agree, and I think though it shouldn't be forgotten, and I hope they don't, is what connects. Maybe we get Spider-Man in an X-Men movie, because they've always connected. Cool. His guilt about inventing it and basically bringing the technology that would honestly cause them so much harm and problems, I think would play a role in that, and it'd be another way for these writers to keep on fucking with the Parker look.
Torture Peter Parker.
Yeah, exactly. More torture for Peter Parker. You invented the thing that is enslaving mutants, or and all of that. It's just a thing to mention there. So, all right. So,
well,
I think
I have one minor question though. Yeah, well, first of all, I again, another minor detail: the fact that you can't put the Inhibitor in the Hulk was brilliant because the guy can take a missile to the chest. You're gonna put a little inhibitor in him. So
I did love
that one little detail was good. And secondly, I have a question for both of you. And
Yeah,
again,
go.
it's internet rumor. Was the little kid outside the hospital Miles Morales?
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Oh, actually, I'm glad you did stop me there because there was one other thing I wanted to mention before. And as you know, we can do this all day. Whatever, talk about the Spider-Man movie. I thought this. I'm not gonna lie. I think in the first watch, I thought the same thing that might be Miles Morales because Tom Holland is already talking about. They've already mapped out him passing the baton on to a MCU Miles Morales down the line. They're just not saying it's happening anytime soon at the moment. I'm going to say no. I don't think that's Miles Morales. I think it was a nice, quick, fun thing, but I don't think that's going to end up being Miles Morales down the line. I still think we're a few movies before we get to Miles Morales. That's why.
I think that is Miles Morales as much as the kid in Iron Man 2 is Peter Parker.
But they retroactively they retconned that though. They did say it was Peter Parker. Yeah.
You're right, they did. So, but at the time, it was not meant to be.
Yes.
And so, I think no matter what, if they want that to be Miles Morales in the future for that future Easter egg, it is. Okay. And if they don't, it isn't. And that's kind of what I'm coming down on.
Okay. So you're non-committal one way or the other. That's gonna be my.
I'm saying like it doesn't matter. Like because had we all been doing this podcast during Iron Man 2 and we speculated, was that Peter Parker? Well, it wasn't until it was.
Okay.
And I think this Miles Morales isn't until it is. It all depends on what they want to do with it. And that's why I'm not being non-committal. I just think it is. They can retcon it, do whatever they want with it. So it is whatever they want to do with it.
Okay, Tim, do you think it is Miles?
I don't know, but I think it was just definitely a nice little "what do you think" moment that I think they threw in there. Like look at this little curly haired Spanish kid, doing the web thing. What do you think? I think that was put in there on purpose. Whether it's him or not, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know, but I think it was put in there on purpose to make us all think that.
Yeah, because I do love Miles Morales as a character as well. But I'm not quite ready to let Tom Holland go anytime soon. So that's why I kind of don't want it to be. I want him to be introduced maybe when Tom Holland is actually ready to like move on, or maybe he like outgrows the role a little bit. Like
Tom Holland has to give us a Venom movie, a proper Venom villain. Then he can go if he wants.
I think Tom Holland needs to. I think before he goes, no, I don't think he wants to go. I know he's also said like he'll do this as long as they'll have him. But like when they're ready to do that, no, I think we still need a proper Spider-Man versus Venom thing. I also think I want Tom Holland Spider-Man fighting the Sinister Six.
Yeah.
Before he leaves, those are kind of certain things. And if I'm going to add on one more, a wish list. Yes, exactly. Till he's fucking 90. You're right. He's going to play just as long as Hugh Jackman is going to play Wolverine. Listen, in After Battle World, in the comics, they basically just use that as a reason to get rid of Ultimate Universe and bring Miles into the 616. So for me,
that's true.
You don't have to kill off Peter Parker. You can have them coexist and just be just.
Hey,
fine.
the video game, it has both of them in it, and that's so much fun.
Yeah,
playing with
I
the
love
both of them.
switching between the two.
Yeah, they've coexisted in the comics for a while now, so it's fine. But okay.
I was gonna say because I need Tom Holland versus Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin with Daredevil.
Yes, you took the words out of my mouth. That's my checklist before you can move on to Miles. I want him fighting Venom. I want him with the black symbiote suit for a while, for a movie at least, before he gives it up, because then you establish why the suit hates Peter Parker so much. You need that. That's key. You can't live without that one. I need him fighting Venom. I need him with a symbiote suit.
We'll put it out there into the universe. A comic accurate Venom suit.
Yes. Something like that.
Eddie, do you mean I'm not comic accurate, Eddie?
Oh boy.
Eddie, let's go get a 40 and bang some old Asian women.
And I need him fighting. I want him fighting Kingpin, and I want Daredevil in that movie, and I want him fighting the Sinister Six. That's what I want. Those are the three.
And I'm adding one. I need to add one. I want fucking Craven's Last Hunt. I want Craven's Last Hunt.
All right,
and
so
Tom
4.
Holland.
Tom Holland, you ain't going
I
anywhere anytime
really
soon.
want that.
You will be doing this until you're 90 before we get Miles Morales. You got a ways to go.
You're never leaving, Tom. Get used to it.
Exactly. Every time you think you're out, we pull you back in. Quick note I wanted to mention, and we did not, and I haven't seen many talking about it, is in the class that Peter shows up to talk to Bruce Banner, there was an Asian student, female Asian student who's in there, whose name is Cindy, because Bruce calls on her. Is that Cindy Moon, who is also a major Spider-Man character as well? I don't know. Yes, she has she's a character named Silk, who is also bit by the same spider that Peter Parker was.
Okay, I heard of that character. Okay.
Yes. And they were going to do an Amazon series about her, and then that got shelved. For
the only problem with that is we don't know where Peter got bit in the MCU. He never mentioned where.
You can play with it. My point is, I don't know. It could have been a fun nod.
I think it was. Yeah, probably. I think it could have been just a fun nod for now.
Yeah.
But even Jason said, if later on if they want to make something out of it, they can.
Yeah.
So
it's just something to throw there. Cindy Moon could have been in that thing, and she would have been around the same age as Peter Parker. Again, considering if they go with the comics accurate thing, that they both got bit by the same spider.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Because he also had the classmate who was an Asian girl in Homecoming, who I don't know if I don't recall if they named her Cindy or not, but it was also speculation then that was also Cindy Moon. So I don't know, just something to throw out there. Maybe not. I don't know, but it was something that caught my eye because they went out of the way to call her Cindy. Is why I think that it was like that. Like the kid at the end that he mentioned that he was Miles, then obviously, something like that. It would have been a little bit.
But I think both are kind of Easter eggs until they're not. Do I think, to be more definitive about what I said about Miles, do I think this is meant to set up Miles Morales? Absolutely not. Do I think it might be retconned into the actor we get as Miles Morales in the future was this kid? Sure. And I think it might be the same thing with the Cindy Moon thing. It's was it set up that this is Cindy Moon? No, because she doesn't do anything in the movie.
Yeah.
Is it set up for the future that we could kind of retcon things and make it so? Absolutely.
You know what? I'm going to change my answer. No, that's not Miles Morales, and I'll tell you why. Because Prowler talks to him on the phone in the first one.
Yes, it mentions.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
And now you mentioned that plus the blip of the 5 years. That can't be Miles Morales. He'd be fucking 30 by now, or however old he is. So I'm saying no, he can't be.
All right, so 2 no, 1 potentially. No, I'm just saying is that I just don't want this Peter Parker. Again, this story is him becoming a man and becoming an adult and stuff like that. So I just think we still have a lot more time to go. But I'm when the day comes and it's right, I'm more than happy to have Miles, in the MCU. But I still think this guy still has he has a lot to do. And based on this box office, and he ain't going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, he ain't going nowhere.
No.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. So then I think that does wrap it up for us then this week. Thank you for joining us as always. If you're joining us on the Facebook live stream, be sure to check out Granny's PC's Facebook group where we share a bunch of fun stories and trailers and posters and whatnot that don't make the show. Check out Pop Culture Pros and popculturepros.com because that's what we are presented by. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to Pop Culture Pros and wherever you found your audio-only podcast. We will be back next week. Tim, I'm going to assume you will be joining us for the Dragons Challenge.
Only if the kitten's in it. The little kitten from Return of the Dragon with Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee. Then I'll do it. No, I'm going to try my best to watch them. I didn't get to watch.
Thanks for joining us always, too. Love you, dude. Thank you.
Jader. Later, man.
Hope to see you next time.
Later. Thank you.
Yeah, so next week we got Spider-Man, The Dragon's Challenge, where again he fights Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee and the cat, and maybe the father from Nightmare on Elm Street might be in it. Who knows?
Oh, don't tease me. That would be awesome.
And we got Nicholas Hammond's Spider-Man in Enter the Dragon.
That would be awesome.
We might have to rewrite these movies again.
I think that would be number one.
it might possibly be. We'll be talking about that next week. Also, we got some more X-Men 97 and My Adventures with Superman, all of that to talk about. And I'll see if any trailers drop next week. So, see you then. Peace.
Later.
Later.